Hello and welcome right here at PMPL South Asia. This is the spring season 2023 wherein week 2 has already of course begun. This is day number 3 where we've reached. Of course, I'm going to be your caster blogger joined along with Shadow as we take you through the games as well as of course the most important thing, that Shadow we were talking about on day number 2 of week 2. Are we expecting a big change on day 3 based on how the teams have now started, amping up the aggressiveness that they've showcased compared to from week 1 to week 2?
But the big change is already there. Previous week, it was all about the Mongolian teams, especially the two teams that is going to be 4MB and Stalwart Esports. Yes, Stalwart Esports are carrying forward the same momentum, but right now other regions have also started stepping up. We have the players of T2K performing really good. Even the players of Seal Esports, they have started showcasing good performance now.
Absolutely. But along with that, of course, let's also bring up this very important conversation that's going to be the overall schedule where we are part of right now, week 2. And of course, along with that, you can clearly see Friday, the 31st of March is where we're at, which is going to continue till, of course, the 2nd, or you can very well say basically over the weekend is where week 2 will reach its end. But on Sunday, of course, we also do have that second bonus map that will be played after the usual 5 games. The 6th match will be played on Sunday. That will be on Vikendi, of course. And utilizing those bonus points is going to be very crucial. That we'll talk more about later. But then following week 2, we will move into, of course, week 3 with the same exact set of games and schedule. But once that is done, there will be a little bit of break from 10th to the 13th, and then from 14th onwards, we're going to have a 3-day affair, the finals, where only top 16 teams are going to qualify for. Between these 20 teams, of course, the competition is fierce and is going to be taking a toll on a couple of them. Alongside that, to help out with that pressure point, you do have the massive prize pool of $80,000 that's going to be provided to all of these teams that are playing right here. But at the same point of time, you saw that MVP ranking right there, $1,000 for that one individual player, Shadow.
Well, certainly a lot of prize money on the lines. But talking about the bonus point, if you play the bonus match, you definitely are going to get some extra points. But in the overall ranking, the team sitting at the top will get 20 points. On the second spot, will get 19 points, and it keep on reducing. And even the bottom team is going to get at least 1 point. But in the main games, we have the point structure where first place is going to get only 10 points. Second will get 6 points. The third will get 5 points. Fourth will get 4 points, and it keep on reducing. This time, the point structure revolves around the elimination point, because per elimination you get only a single point, and we have seen already so many teams struggling because of this, because if you're not able to get elimination points, well, placement points are almost negligible if you're not in top 5.
Absolutely, and that is something that these teams have now understood based on how the point structure has completely changed per game. So that implies, the way you play the battleground itself is going to be all focused on how many eliminations, how many defeat points are you walking away with. And talking about those defeat points, look at that. The team that's leading the charge right now, Stalwart Esports, with 61 total elimination points that they've accumulated and only mere 30 placement points. So, of course, it clearly showcases the fact that working towards those placement points, those elimination points, is the key to score better and place better in the overall ranking.
But you also need to be having the balance between the placement and elimination points. We can see the plus of Sitim Esports. They're sitting on the 14th spot with only 7 placement points, but 24 elimination points. Yes, you have to bring the aggression, but at the same time, you have to make sure you are having consistent gameplays. One game, you get 12 finished points, a winner chicken dinner. If not winner chicken dinner, you place second, but next game you get 0. So the consistency should be there in terms of the placement points as well as the elimination points.
Absolutely, but as we move ahead, talking about Illuminate Crew, a team that in week 1, well, again, you can clearly see did not have a very drastic performance, were not able to do much in week 1 altogether itself. But compare that to week 2 itself. Now, in League week 2, you're looking at the damage that they've been able to dish out has increased. Amount of eliminations have also increased. Of course, there's the average that we're looking at. So that also clearly also showcases the fact that, they've taken on a better responsive decision in week 2 to be able to accumulate number of points for themselves, either the elimination or placement or combined together itself.
Totally agreed, because last week they were not even able to play the bonus match, and right now they are sitting in top 12, exactly. In fact top 10 position. There is a drastic change in the gameplay as well, because previous week I8 they were trying to shy away from the fights, but now they are taking the strongest teams in the lobby. They have managed to take down the players of Abrupt Slayers. Even they have managed to engage in a fight with the players of 4MV. So I8 in terms of aggression, they are looking so very strong and much better as compared to previous week.
Absolutely, and that is something that again you have been pointing out again and again, that you had seen Sky, you had casted, and you wanted to see the entirety of Illuminate crew to be able to rack up those numbers and of course increase the kind of pressure that they were of course playing under against the entirety of the lobby. But right now, moving away from Illuminate crew towards another two teams that are going to be showcased right here, High Voltage against the likes of Skylight Gaming. Now, looking at the total points that they've got, it is very close, only 2-point difference. But look at the average survival time right there. High Voltage with 19.2 seconds compared to, of course, Skylight Gaming, where 15 minutes is what their average play has been. Now, when I say that High Voltage in week 1 were doing spectacular, in week 2 also they're trying, but comparatively, again, their performance has kind of taken a dip.
Kind of, I'll say it has taken a lot of dip because they are facing a downfall. The way they are engaging in a fight.
I'm just being fair.
Come on, Blotter. A team like High Voltage, where we have Malik, where we have Praveen, players with such high capability, they are not able to win those 4v4 close combat fights. And this is something very disappointing from the side of High Voltage. On the other side, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, every single time good rotations are coming in, but individual players are getting picked off, and this is something SKYLIGHTZ Gaming need to work on, because the way they are always scattered in the map, the split drop that is coming from their side, it's not working for them. Maybe go for 2v2 split, but something SKYLIGHTZ Gaming needs to do about the segregation that is coming from their players.
Absolutely, and that is something that I'm hoping they're going to be able to change today. And of course, today being the most critical day. Why? Because we're already a part of week 2. We're already talking about day 3 that is going to get initiated. So basically 5 days is what you've got throughout these league stages and league plays that we are playing right now. And day number 3 is the critical one. 2 days are done. 2 more days do remain. But today, if at all teams have understood what they've been doing wrong, if at all they've got a different strategy that they can possibly try, today is the day they have to do it. With that, of course, we also do have some wonderful news for you lads sitting back at home, because we need to bring up this beautiful promo for the new skins that are available in the game. Well, why would you not want to grab something like that, Shadow, right? I mean, of course, if you are part of my team and you're moving along with that blaster tank or, of course, that crimson helmet, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out towards you and looking forward to you being the most OG player in the team because of the bling that you carry in the game.
Totally agreed. In fact, you can. I'm just going to buy this bundle because I want my friends to feel a bit of jealous because of the Crimson package that the entire bundle is showcasing. Yes, some good skins, and not to say I don't have the skills to be a professional player, but I can get the skins. I know cheesy line,
and
but still.
anybody can get that. That's the best part, right? Because if you're sitting back at home and playing with your friends, then also you can very well boast about it, create that bling, and that is something that, of course, will give you the boost as well when you're playing the game. And apart from that, though, going back to the conversation of day number 3 being so very critical, because today is going to be that decider day. Today is that intermission day, so to say, for the teams who have not been able to, get those points and, of course, understand what is going wrong. One of the biggest names in there is going to be Bad Intentions. Bad Intentions' performance has just not taken a change whatsoever at all. But today, fingers crossed. With that, let's talk about the schedule. Starting off, we're going to be looking at Sanhok, and then followed along with 2 back-to-back Erangels, and then to close the day off, 2 back-to-back Miramar as well.
Well, perfect balance. You are starting things on a very aggressive note. You can grab so many elimination points in the map of Sanhok, but then you have to slow things down a bit. The OG map of Erangel comes in, where the players of T2K shine the most. Then we have the map of Miramar, where the players of Abrupt Slayers used to shine, but now they are also missing in this particular week.
Absolutely, but with that, the age-old question is upon us once again, or well, below us actually, where of course we need to start predicting now, Shadow, for the Sanhok game. What team are you anticipating? And of course, with that, the flight path is going to be on our screens. But let's continue with the conversation and the prediction, Shadow. Of course, we know Group E is not playing. That means A+C Esports, Leo Esports, Elementrix, as well as SITM, Esports. They're not going to be part of this first game.
Well, certainly, Group E is sitting out. But as far as my prediction goes, I want to go with the players of Venom DE. So, yeah, Venom DE. But DRS, they also tend to have a very good performance on the map of Sanhok. So, Venom DE this time.
All right,
What
Venom
about
DB
you?
coming in from Shadow, and for Miracle Vibes is where I'm going to be sticking along. I mean, I was kind of undecided between T2K and 4MV, but T2K, like you perfectly mentioned, based on the stats, they are looking phenomenal when it comes to the map of Erangel. So perhaps I'll predict them later on, but right now on the map of Sanhok, 4MV is going to be my pick. And 4MV is a team that needs to actually buck up. I mean, in week 2, their performance has not been allowed to flourish as it did in week 1, mostly because of course, teams like Stalwart Esports taking the reins. Apart from that, of course, we did see a little bit of signs of revival coming in from Seal Esports as well, but they are touch and go. Seal Esports still have not been able to find that perfect rhythm for themselves. But moving away from all of that, once again, at Paradise Resort, we've got Illuminate Crew against the players of NB Esports.
And every single time in Sanhok, these two teams like to share the city of Paradise Resort, and they go up against each other. Last time, NB Esports, they try to change things a little bit by grabbing the initial loot as soon as possible and try rotating, but the players of T2K kind of ruined their game. And NB Esports, this time, they're taking a head-on fight with the players of IR, and looks like Sky was having a cheeky angle, but that was spotted by Mondo, and Mondo has instantly shut him down with the DBS. Now, the numbers are in the favor of NB Esports.
Well, NB Esports have definitely taken on a really good start right here, but at the same time, it seems like it is just not done. The trouble just keeps on brewing, as we've got Novix and Ram, the only two players remaining from the side of Illuminate Crew. Ram with the UMP in his hand is looking very good. Mondo was almost about to be blown away right there, but the DBS is not going to be able to, of course, help out Mondo right now. But on another fight altogether, Fistboy also jumps in from NB Esports. It seems like this is going to be the end for Illuminate Crew right there. Within the first minute of the game itself, it is the entire squad wipe of Illuminate Crew. A sad turn of events right here, which clearly needs to be ironed out between these two teams. Like Shadow mentioned earlier, when previously we saw these two teams on the map of Sanhok, they once again did butt heads on Paradise Resort, but they actually then decided to move away from Paradise Resort. They got their loots and then fell back away from Paradise Resort. This time around, that was not the case. This time around, NB Esports were the one dominating, but at the same point of time, it seems like domination is still not yet done, because Mavtex Esports' Wally has been able to spray upon Chari from the side of Abrupt Slayers. As Abrupt Slayers, Chari finds refuge in his friendly compound.
Well, Mapex Esports, they drop towards the side of Cave, and the way their players are split up, yes, in the map of Sanhok, you need to have a split drop location, because you need those resources, you need those loot in your hands, and that is exactly what the players of Mapex Esports are doing right now. But Baron needs to realize that the Abrupt Slayers player, they are two. It's a 2v1 situation, so he needs backup. He needs to be a bit cautious in terms of the aggression that he's showcasing, because anytime the backup and the cavalry might be coming in for the players of Abrupt Slayers, and it could result in the demise of Baron. And looks like Mapex Esports, they are also approaching this fight very cautiously. Look at the angles which the players of Mapex Esports are holding right now. They're trying to surround the players of Abrupt Slayers from all four directions.
Well, ASL in a lot of trouble right now. Chari and Joker, the two players in the compound. From the back angle, we can see Maptex's Kese is slowly approaching the compound and maybe even trying to create a cover fire opportunity right here, where Baron is, of course, keeping a close eye to the compound itself. From the back lines, we've got Leo and Wally, who, of course, we saw earlier as well, as Wally was spraying down on the players of ASL, where Chari did take a couple of shots to his face, but Sleepy on the back lines. Again, from Abrupt Slayers, Sleepy has been MVP so many times, and he is still possibly going to be able to scope out and bring down the players of Mavericks. Let's see if he'll be able to scope out and spot out Leo, OP, or Wally. For now, Sleepy has gotten real close. He's got a basic idea as to where the players are. This is the IQ play that I was talking about. I mean, Sleepy, that's the reason why we see him being the MVP from the side of Abrupt Slayers again and again, because he reads this situation so pristine and beautifully that there is absolutely no way the opponent could do much. And right now, Leo OP has absolutely no idea till the time Sleepy makes his presence felt, and now it has done so. And in doing so, of course, retaliatory fire is going to be showcased through the window and the cover, and that indeed is going to be pushing Leo OP on the back lines as he's out in the open now, and all of this brings it down to a 2v1 situation against Leo OP.
Well, certainly 2v1 situation for Leo OP, but look at him. He has got the best weapon to deal with this situation. He has got a DBS, and DBS in close range is one of the most deadly weapon we have, and we have seen the DBS meta in different maps, even in Sanhok as well. And Sleepy with the DBS is already trying to charge in towards the players of Maptex Esports, but somewhere else on the map, we have the players of NB Esports also going up against the players of Seal Esports, and looks like Grog has been taken down, but look at the aggression that is coming from the side of Maptex Esports. Two players charging in with an S12K, and Charlie has been taken down by Baron, but Kese gets down, but instant backup comes from the side of Baron, saves the day for Kese, and Maptex Esports, without losing any of their own player, manages to get 2 defeat points onto the players of the Abrupt Slayers, and the remaining 2 players are also not looking so very good. This grenade can be deadly if he can lob it to the perfection.
Well, for now it seems like Abrupt Slayers, Gangsta and Sleepy have decided to fall back from this compound. They've given away the entirety of it to Maptex Esports, and Maptex, of course, Baron, being the man of the hour right now, taken 2 shots and, of course, 2 elimination points. That means that Maptex are going to be able to get that revival at the same point of time from Abrupt Slayers. This was a very good decision as well. Of course, they've got almost 700 meters to cover. The Blues have caught up to them as well. We're only on stage 1, so there's not a lot that they need to worry about as far as, of course, damage from the Blues is concerned. But you do need to get into the zone, and the sooner the better is what ASL's approach from there is going to be. But on the other side, we have another fight taking place by NB Esports against the players of Seal Esports. Seem to be dominating as Seal Esports' Sancher, all by his lonesome, now needs to, of course, take care of 2 players from NB. That's going to be Mondo and Fistboy. I mean, these 2, they are just pristine in terms of how they're able to communicate and then retaliate against their opponents. And just like that, in doing so, the conversations have resulted in them getting another 4 down the drain as Seal Esports get eliminated. 8 defeat points converted for the side of NB Esports.
Well, they've managed to decimate 2 teams, 8 defeat points already in the hands of NB Esports. NB Esports is looking as confident as they were looking on day number 1 of week 1, because that time also NB Esports, they were trying to bring so much aggression, they were annihilating the entire lobby, and looks like NB Esports are looking for same performance to replicate the same thing this particular day as well, and they're already up to a very good start. Their bags are loaded, the resources they're having in their hands is enough to survive till the very last circle. All they have to try and do is manage to keep all the 4 players alive. On the other side, we have the players of T2K. Last time T2K also showcased decent performance blotter in the map of Sanhok, and look at the circle. Looks like PUBG gods there. They have given me a Camp Alpha circle, and T2K, well, they are in a good position. High voltage, all the 4 players are way too apart from each other. Yes, they're covering each other's back, but still they need to regroup as soon as possible.
With that, we've got the first ever a rotation from the board taking place right here at PMPL South Asia Spring Season 2023, where Bad Intentions are definitely trying that. What needs to take place though is they get an entry without DRS being there, because the way they've made the rotation, it is looking very good, but the entrance on that Camp Alpha Island into the zone itself is going to be tricky for Bad Intentions. Let's see how is it going to fare out for them on the other side. As we look towards the northeastern side of the zone, we've got SKYLIGHTZ Gaming as well, making a late rotation. Also at the same point of time, we've got 3 other teams who seem to be, of course, too far stretched out right now. We've got ASL, the 2-man squad that we were talking about earlier. Along with them, we also do have Maptex Esports, who are a 4-man army, but taking it slow and steady as they get closer and closer towards the zone. And then comes in Raw officials, who have not yet participated in a single fight whatsoever at all. But now, I'm sure, with stage 2 coming to an end, as stage 3 about to begin, it is going to be a do-and-die situation for quite a lot of teams, because you can see so many colors have dropped in towards the zone itself, and there isn't that much of landmass for them all to be able to share.
In all of this, 4 MB are looking so very good, because they might be able to get the complete southern control in their hands. On the other side, Abrupt Slayers, where every single death puts you at a disadvantage. That is what happening with the players, because now they're surviving with only 2 players. And like you mentioned, SKYLIGHTZ again showing good rotations, but rotation has never been a problem for the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. It is the problem keeping all the 4 players alive. That is something SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, if they manage to keep all 4 players alive, I think they ought to perform good in this particular one. But looks like DRS Gaming, well, they have spotted on few players inside the water, and Bad Intention, things are not looking good for them, as Dylan has been taken down. At the same time, Mehdi has drowned himself.
Well, this is This is what I was dreading for the players of Bad Intentions. Of course, the rotation was looking very good, but had it been a little early, it might have actually, anticipatory pushed them in a good position. But this time around, sadly, that's not been the case, as one by one, their boat was preyed on upon from the side of Delta from DRS Gaming, and now he just wants to be, of course, the fisherman right now at this edge, on this southern edge, on the northern edge of this map. One by one, Bad Intentions players, interestingly enough, they're not really giving away their points as well. Like Shadow mentioned and pointed out, they'd rather give their life away and not that point. And therefore, of course, the Blues has taken down a lot of their health. At the same time, being underwater as well and not able to breathe is another reason where Bad Intentions, once again, seemingly are probably going to be leaving this lobby on the 13th position. Yep, they will. We've got, of course, on the 14th position, my bad, as we've got 13 teams remaining right now. Bad Attention still not able to make a mark in this lobby. Still going to be stuck on that 20th position in the overall ranking. Still looking almost too far away to be able to participate on that 6th bonus map of Vikindi that will be played on day 5.
Agree to that. It was a fish in a barrel situation for the players of Bad Intention, and the moment the players of DRS spotted them down, it was already a dead game for them, because inside water you are pretty much handicapped. You can't do anything. But looking at the position of other teams, T2K, yes, they are looking so very confident. They have a good compound to their name. On the other side, NB Esports, they might have a bit of the problem in crossing that riverbank area. On the other side, we have the players of Maptex Esports also going down. So Maptex, things are not looking good for them as well. Yes, they started on a very good note. They got 2 defeat points, but every single death is bringing you at a disadvantage. That is why they have to go for the rescue mission as soon as possible. But T2K are also picking up the players of DRS, and with that, roll goes down.
Indeed, in all of that though, we've got ASL's Gangsters, a team with only 2-man army. Abrupt Slayers have been able to accumulate decent amount of defeat points, and it's all thanks to Gangster right here, where even getting 2 defeat points before getting eliminated is definitely a much better position to be, of course, getting eliminated from the lobby. But as of now, ASL have not been eliminated. They've got 2 players remaining. They are moving on steady with a very synergistic approach. On the other side, we have NB Esports taking this lobby by storm and rain as they bring down the players of Stalwart Esports and also up the number of defeat points, as NB Esports right now with a comfortable 9 defeat points with 43 players still alive in the lobby. A chaos that has been ensued right here from NB Esports' play. Kind of reminds me of how they were on day 1 in week 1.
But right now, NB Esports, they are in a sandwich situation, as Stalwart Esports is also picking fight with them, and looks like one other team is also picking fight with the players of Stalwart Esports. But NB Esports, not just 1, 2 players of Stalwart Esports gets instant confirmation onto tops as well. Nirzet is still bleeding out. On the other side, Akaze is going for the rescue mission onto Fist Boy. Now, Stalwart Esports, they are left with only 1 player in the close vicinity. That is going to be Icy. It's a 1v3 situation, not looking good at all, with SKYLIGHTZ Gaming also joining the frame. Maybe they can do a third party, but DE on top third. Like I said, it was a third party, and DEADEYES are placed perfectly to punish the players of NB Esports, and Akaze has been taken down. This grenade can be very deadly, but True Love Sir is also firing a retaliation grenade, but both are going to miss the perfect projectile.
Well, that was really good time, but sadly did not hit its marker right there coming in from both of these players. Well, never mind that. I mean to make a correction right here where Precious saw a perfect nade that has resulted in, of course, taking away the advantage and the opportunity that NB Sports were roaming around with. This time around, though, for DE, a lot of damage has been taken over from their side. It's all the way down to On Top Sir and Precious. Now, of course, along with that, we do have True Love Sir on our screens as well, who, if he's able to get this Molotov and nade to perfection, could be the end of NB Sports. And that's exactly what we've got as On Top. We've got True Love Sir along with On Top jumping in to, of course, eliminate the possibility of NB Sports working towards the end of this game. But right now, we've got High Voltage as well, taking shots against the players of DE, where Venom DE get eliminated with only mere 1 elimination point on the 12th position. So hard luck for Venom DE right here from this game. But High Voltage, the way they're utilizing this position is looking real good. But 4MV has spotted Assassin. This could be a troublesome situation for actually 4MV as well. But we'll have to see how is it all going to fare out. One thing is certain though. The team in sandwich situation right here between High Voltage and 4MV is Raw Officials. And Raw Officials have definitely been given a sigh of relief thanks to, of course, 4MV trying to allow or not allow High Voltage to utilize that height advantage in their favor.
And for MVE's picks of claw from the state of Raw officials, and then now the numbers of Raw officials are down to 2. But high voltage, I'm worried about them because yes, Assassin is having a crucial position to get the information, but sooner or later he has to go down from that cliff, and that is not going to be so easy because for MV, look at the crosses, they are directly onto the players of Raw as well as high voltage, and that's journey downhill is not going to be easy for the players of high voltage. For MV, this time they're looking confident. 4 defeat points already in their favor, and they're already going for more. But Apex out there in the open takes hefty damage. He has to be very careful. And high voltage, they are definitely depleting the resources of 4MV.
They most certainly are. From one side, of course, we saw Assassin was the man from high voltage. On the other flank, we've got Malik as well, keeping a very close eye towards the crosshairs of the compound that 4MV found themselves in. And the biggest factor over there was 4MV still need to get into the zone, for which they need to deal with the opponent that's going to be high voltage right in front of them on top of that mountain. But apart from all of that, right now, it seems like DRS Esports are going to be eliminated thanks to, once again, the gameplay of high voltage. Right now, we've got T2K Jane trying to, of course, shake down the players of DRS, where Gyanti along with Rule jumps on to, of course, take down this opportunity, but T2K Jane is very well equipped and prepped, and one by one, he's going to be able to bring down the players of DRS, and DRS has 2 players knocked down. Eventually, of course, 3 of them go down, so it all boils down to just the one final player remaining from the side of DRS, that's going to be Delta, and all by his lonesome. What exactly is he going to be able to do? Because he's got the blues that are going to be giving him quite a lot of damage as well, as stage 4 is coming to an end. 10 more seconds and the zone is going to be taking a curveball shift. This is the opening that very well could probably allow high voltage to get quite a lot of frags right here for themselves, as all of these teams, T2K, DRS, along with of course 4M, well, they need to take on this opportunity, try and get into the zone. Will they be allowed against high voltage? That is the biggest marker. But looking at the zone, now that it's moved along, high voltage themselves are not in the comfort of the zone. They are going to have to leave this high advantage, the mountain advantage that they've got going on in their favor. But it seems like not before they've got something to say to 4MV and their gameplay.
And Raw officials as well, but on the other side, at the mercy of the blue was Suyuk, and he has been taken down by the play zone. And with that, Kancha also goes down. Assassin, perfect spray coming in with that info 16, trying to get the confirmation also coming in. High voltage, this time 4 defeat points in their favor, but they have only 8 seconds. That is when the blue will start closing in, and this is the time when they have to start prioritizing the circle as well. Remaining players of Raw officials, well, they are trying to go for the rotation. They have to be very careful because it's not just high voltage they have to be careful of, but 4MV as well, because 4MV might try and gatekeep them. But on the other side, I see having his heart pounding because he's in the compound where all the 4 players of DEADEYES are at the same time. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is also there.
Indeed, we've got 9 teams remaining right now. High voltage along with that vehicle have been able to jump away from that mountain and get into the zone, but now trouble is going to be starting for the players of high voltage because they don't have one to work with. At the same time, it is going to be ASL. The 2 players remaining from them, Gangster as well as Sleepy, are being sprayed upon from the players of DEADEYES, guys, where Slayers, sir, he's taken a lot of damage, as we can see on his level 3 helmet and level 2 vest, but it seems like right in front of him is going to be Stalwart Esports, as I see, and this compound that, of course, DEADEYES guys felt comfortable in now seems to be, of course, in tatters from all different directions. As from one side we've got SKYLIGHTZ, in front of them was ASL, and now in the backlines they've got STE to deal with as well.
And I see the last man standing. For how long can he survive? Because the grenades that were coming from the side of DEADEYES to Ruler, sir, could have been deadly for him. Yes, the numbers of DEADEYES have been reduced, and SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they are looking for a fight in the situation. And in between all of this commotion, I see surviving for him is not going to be so easy. But we have the players of TRZ also picking up some fight. But Mafia Ninja's grenade right on the face of IC brings down Stalwart Esports at 7th position with few good elimination points. But on the other side, I'm sorry, 8th position, because on 7th 4MV has been eliminated. Now SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, all the 4 players alive, but they don't have the circle. 4 defeat points in their favor. They have to transition themselves inside the circle, where the remaining 2 players of Abrupt Slayers are waiting for them.
Indeed, but again, as we were talking about it, TRZ is still part of this entire fray, only with 1 elimination point. They've got a lot to do right now. And for that, high voltage seems to be the best target, because high voltage, they, as we were talking about it earlier, have no cover whatsoever at all. For the players of TRZ, again, troubles are just starting. As they take on these shots, they also need to, of course, cover the 80-meter distance to get into the zone, for which they need to leave this compound. And that is where things can go very, very shady for the players of TRZ, because SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, of course, are looking very, very equipped and prepped to take on the shots against the players of TRZ as well as ASL. Same could be the case for High Voltage as well. But now it seems the zone is going to be the MVP right here. And ASL with a two-man army seemingly are looking in a very good position, but they're only a two-man squad. So tough luck over there. But apart from that, their compound is pretty much in the smack center of the zone right now.
But right now, the bombarding dynamites are down onto the players of DE, and a little bit more distance. Mafia Ninja with that grenade could have brought down the entire squad of DEADEYES, but still a lot of damage has been done, and look like he has managed to do so, and DEADEYES have been eliminated at 5th position with 3 elimination. Now SKYLIGHTZ Gaming are so aggressive in this lobby with 4 players alive. They're trying to decimate the players of TRZ. A Mancat has been brought down by Nima, and now they're charging towards the compound of Abrupt Slayers. It's not going to be so easy for the players of Abrupt Slayers to defend. TP managed to take down one player, only to be taken out by the other player of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. And Mafia Ninja, he's raining death and destruction everywhere onto the players of TRZ. At the same time, Abrupt Slayers, well, Abrupt Slayers Gangster, the only man standing. For how long can he survive as SKYLIGHTZ Gaming? They also have to go for the revival onto their fallen teammates.
Indeed, and for that, of course, they need to go over into this area where Gangster is, and Gangster is not going to be allowing that, and he's going to be able to confirm one more elimination point for himself. And with the DBS, he's going to be pushing on in a 2v1 situation against the players of SKYLIGHTZ, but it seems like he's going to be falling back as well. He's unsure right now as to how exactly should he approach this situation. On the other side of the map altogether itself, in the center, we did see the players of High Voltage also capitalize the situation that they're in. At the same point of time, Gangsta is being basically a mole right now, taking away a lot of shots against the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, have already dwindled down the numbers of SG as well. So the opportunity, which seemed like SKYLIGHTZ Gaming were very hungry and eager to capitalize upon and get the chicken dinner for themselves, has kind of been hindered thanks to ASL Gangsta's approach.
And I had to take my words back. The rotation that came from the side of High Voltage was on point. They have the numbers, they have the circle, they have everything required to get this particular game in their hands. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they don't have the circle, and Mafia Ninja is already at the mercy of the Blue Probeen with that UMP45. These SMGs are so powerful and potent, and as he takes on Mafia Ninja, at the same time takes Nima as well, and High Voltage. We were saying, where is High Voltage? And they delivered on the 3rd day of week number 2, get a winner chicken dinner for themselves.
Indeed, what a perfect game for High Voltage. They were missing from the action just a little bit, but of course we knew when it comes to the rotations, these two teams we spoke about time and time again since week 1, High Voltage and SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. Every single time the rotations were so on point, and this time around with that performance, of course, High Voltage will find themselves in the overall ranking on the 5th spot. Hello and welcome back once again right here at PMPL South Asia, where of course the journey continues on in week 2, day number 3, where the first game is done. Now we're left with 2 Erangels back-to-back and 2 Miramars back-to-back that will be played. But at the same point of time, this first game, again, we were pointing out these two teams, High Voltage and SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. We in fact also spoke about them in the pre-show segment, and now both of them deliver the first game itself in a really good finish. Of course, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming were not able to get the chicken dinner, but kudos, valiant effort from their side.
Well, certainly, every time Lotta we criticize any team, the next day they come up with a banger performance. We talked about the plus of Abrupt Slayers as well. Despite having the numbers disadvantage, Abrupt Slayers were, I think they were finished on the 3rd position. So yes, good performance from their side. Not so aggressive in terms of the frag they got for themselves, but still a good performance from the side of Abrupt Slayers as well.
Absolutely, but with that, of course, now the main question is going to be who gets the MVP? Will there be a player coming in from both of these teams, or could it be an ASL player like Gangster perhaps, who was able to get 3 defeat points to his name? After all, we've seen that sort of MVP ranking on the map of Sanhok, with just 3 eliminations, players end up being the MVP of the game. But right now, we need to find out from this game who will be the one crowned the most valuable player. I would personally love to see ASL Gangster get it, but again, at the same point of time, High Voltage's Assassin along with Malik, they were bringing in so much chaos and trouble right there for those rotating teams. And of course, being on top of that high ground gave them such a ludicrous advantage over there, which they capitalized on gracefully. And of course, that in turn provided them with decent amount of points. But in the end, as they pushed on ahead, of course, troubles were brewing. But eventually, facing those fears, of course, they moved on to get the chicken dinner for themselves.
Well, certainly the rotation that came from their side, had they been a little bit late, maybe they could have been gatekept by some other team. And the way they were holding on to the entire circle, final circle, but the MVP this time is going to be from the side of NB Esports. NB Esports in the final few moments managed to take down 2 squads, and Akaze with the 5 eliminations, 654 damage that he was dishing out, 1 assist, not too much survival time because NB Esports, because of a third party situation, because of a sandwich situation, they were taken out pretty early in the game, but still a very good start in terms of the frags they were accumulating for themselves in this one.
Oh, most certainly. The way NB Esports were playing and dominating right there, it seemed like if nobody's going to be able to stop them, they are jumping back onto, of course, the performance they showcased on day 1 of week 1 itself. But sadly, that was not to be, as they were dropped down, and was still, though, a decent effort from them, because they, I think, walked away with 11 elimination points, if I'm not mistaken. We'll confirm that when we talk about the match ranking. Right now, we of course have the top players on our screens. We know who the MVP was. That was Akaze coming in from NB Esports, along with of course his teammate being a part of this list as well. That's going to be Mondo, but High Voltage's Assassin with 3 eliminations of his own, of course, will be participating right here, along with the highest damage of 759 from Assassin.
Certainly, and Mondo with the highest assist, that is going to be 4. But Valley from the side of Maptex Esports has got the highest healing stun. Well, Maptex Esports, they were not in the best position. Even with the fight they were taking with the plus of Abrupt Slayers, they were way too spread out. So Maptex Esports, not a very good start for them in this particular one, but still a decent performance. Maybe they'll try and recover themselves, because whenever it comes to Sanhok, Maptex Esports, I have always high expectations because they tend to perform really good in this one. But in match ranking, we have the players of High Voltage on the top with 18 points, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming on second with 15 points, NB Esports just on the basis of elimination point, sitting on the third spot with total of 11 points and 0 placement points.
Indeed, and then comes in a team that I had predicted walking away with the chicken dinner, sitting on the 6th. That's going to be 4MV with 4 defeat points and 1 placement point. But moving away from that towards the second page of the leaderboard, Raw officials have had a decent outing this time around. 3 points, so definitely something is better than nothing for them, and that is going to be helping them out. But for Bad Intentions, trouble just keeps on increasing more and more, because once again, that 0 points getting eliminated right here in the first game of day 3 of week 2. It is looking very very sad for Bad Intentions, because every day we anticipate a little bit of a rise from them, as they are sitting on the 20th position in the overall ranking. As soon as they try and give a decent performance, some other team comes in along and swoops it and steals it away from them, which in turn puts Bad Intentions once again on the 20th spot, sadly.
Well, certainly, yes, they were trying to go for a safe gameplay, but that is a risk you're inviting whenever you're going for those rotations. When you are in the water, you can't do anything. Pretty much you're handicapped, and that is where the plus of DRS capitalized. But in the overall ranking, this time, Stalwart Esports, they are sitting on the top with 94 points. T2K Esports, consistent performance from their side as well. 80 points to them, sitting on the second spot. And for MV also, they have also started catching up the flow of this particular week. They are in top 5. And maybe by the end of the week, if they continue the same performance, they can topple over any of these teams above them.
Indeed, that is possible, of course, from 4MV. And that is what I'm sure the anticipation of their fans is also going to be. But moving away towards the second page, starting, of course, all the way from top, we've got on the 11th position, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming with 45 points. Without a chicken dinner. But look at SEAL Esports again, the only team on the second page with a chicken dinner, sitting with 39 points on, of course, the 11th position right there. Still a lot more that SEAL Esports can do. It's just something that at times favors them, at times does not, and that sort of a play is in the battleground not the best strategy to, of course, work with. But we're just getting started with the day. We've still got 4 games remaining, so there is still a chance for a little bit of a comeback scenario to be possible for SEAL Esports and the other teams as well.
Well, there is a possibility for the teams to topple over other teams and be in top 12. Yes, SEAL Esports can do so. This particular week, SEAL Esports is having a very good run as compared to the previous week, but in the overall ranking, they still need more points in their favor. But looking at the schedule this time, Well, we have Erangel coming up, where the players of Group D will be sitting out, and in Group D, we have the players of High Voltage, Mapex Esports, Seal Esports, Raw Esports. So these four teams are sitting on, out in this particular Erangel. After this, we have again one more Erangel, and then we are going to end the day with two Miramars.
Absolutely. And talking about this upcoming Erangel, well, you know the age-old question that is going to be brought on the desk right now, Shadow. So how about you predict already? What team would you like to see walk away with a chicken dinner this time?
This time I'm very confused. I'm having three teams in my mind. I'm confused between Abrupt Slayers, Stalwart Esports, and SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. Okay, SKYLIGHTZ
Oh.
Gaming. No, actually,
All right.
Stalwart Esports. Okay, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. It's Miramar. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming.
Well, all right. It's not Miramar first things first.
I have
It's
three
Erangel.
teams.
But at the same point of
Oh.
time, it is SKYLIGHTZ Gaming coming in from your side. And from mine, it is going to be a team that is going to be something that I would love to see. Chicken dinner. That's going to be the real soldiers, DRS. But it seems Bhavna was thinking that it's going to be Miramar. Well, it's not. I'm going to be playing on
Okay.
Erangel. So that means you would still get an opportunity to change before we jump into the game. It's
Okay,
not
I'll pick.
SKYLIGHTZ.
It's not SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. Okay, I'll pick T2K this time.
T2K is a real good pick as well right there.
Yeah.
On this map, of course, of Erangel, they've showcased some resilience to the entirety of the lobby. But the way High Voltage is played today to start the day off itself, we're looking very much in control of how they want to be, of course, taking the day. But in all of that, High Voltage is not participating in this game. So there is still a really good chance, and for which we will see if any of our predictions is going to come true or not. As of now, we've got, of course, the flight path, majority of which, of course, mainly focused towards the side of, well, east, where we've got Stalwart, and down south we go all the way towards a military base itself. So a decent start can be anticipated for quite a lot of these teams. Like, for example, we've got STE, who love to go towards Novorupnoi. We've got 4MV, who love their military base loot. We've got IHC, who like to go towards Milta. So a really good start that can be anticipated from these teams. But overall, where is the zone going to be dictating the entirety of this battleground fight? I wonder.
Sivorni. Let's send the circle towards the side of Sivorni, because that is where T2K are heading. All the teams are going towards their original drop spots. 4MV heading towards the side of military base island. Stalwart Esports will be going towards the side of Novorupnoi. But like you mentioned, where the first circle is going to be, because that is going to decide the fate of so many teams, how the rotations are going to come in, which compound to hold on to. Pochinki, I think, will be occupied by the players of Abrupt Slayers. Then we have IHC going towards the eastern side, towards the side of Milta Power. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming again for a split drop, but this time the segregation is not so much. It's a 2v2 split. Mafia Ninja and Nima, yes, they are a bit far away from each other, but they can provide the necessary backup if required. And the circle this time, well, majority of the teams are going to be pretty happy, because a bit of the southern island is in the circle, and it's a pretty concentric circle covering the majority of the central areas.
Indeed, definitely a good start. A comfortable start for all of these teams is what the first circle right here is indicating, at least on Erangel. But we'll see if at all any curveballs can be thrown. But overall, definitely a comfortable zone to start the game off with. And of course, once these teams are set up with their loots, we are going to see if at all a first blood situation can be drawn. As of now, again, because of the map being Erangel, all of these teams know exactly where to expect their opponent, which in turn makes it a little difficult for us to come into a first blood situation right here. But looking at SKYLIGHTZ Gaming towards the northern, western, eastern side of the zone itself, spread between Lipovka and Nima going towards Yasnaya itself, or maybe he's actually moving north, so he could be going towards Kamishki as well. But again, that split approach coming in from SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. Let's see how exactly is it going to fare out for them. It did end up working in the previous game, but if you were to look at all the games that they've been a part of since week 1, day 1 itself, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, the rotation works out with that spread drop, with that split drop. But as they work towards the late game opportunities, that's where things kind of slow down for them. Though today is a different day, and to start the day itself, we saw SG finish second on the Sanhok game. So most certainly that sort of a momentum is going to be giving them a boost in this Erangel game. But moving away from the conversation of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, we've got DEADEYES guys on screen with, of course, Precious Sir, True Love on top, as well as, of course, Slayer, who are also, for now, playing it safe, playing it comfortable. No team that's going to be around in their vicinity that they need to worry about. Though today, one team I would love to see a comeback from, Shadow, is going to be Sitim Esports. Week 1, they were still looking okay. Week 2, though, they have not showcased any signs of, wanting to rise up to the occasion and being in the top 5.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, this particular circle also, Sitim Esports can play really good because they are in the city of Yasnia. The very first circle is in their favor, and they can go for a good rotation as well and try to get the central control if they want, or maybe go for the late rotation as well. So yes, Sitim Esports can perform good in this particular angle, considering their drop location and the circle. But on the other side, the plus of Abrupt Slayers are also looking so very promising as they have the entire control of the Pochinki. Definitely they're going to have good resources in their hands because Pochinki offers good loot for all the 4 players. Back to the topic of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, well, the split that is coming from their side could be the reason, the drop location, because Lipovka doesn't offer enough resources for all the 4 players. On the other side, we have a 4-spread situation coming in for the plus of Bad Intention, where Leo Esports, well, Liquid has picked out 1 player, and now the numbers are not in their favor. At the same time, Bad Intention, Mehdi is not in a good situation. Liquid is already charging in towards him himself, but can he do so?
Well, he's trying his best. He's been able to bring down that spray, and that in turn is going to be providing them at least one little elimination point. No, it will not. Liquid does go down, but never mind that, because right here, Slipknot from the side of Leo Esports is going to be able to make a comeback story. But before anything happens, Dylan from Bad Intention jumps in along, and with his car, is going to be dominating against the players of Leo Esports. As one by one, Leo Esports jump into, of course, try and give a little bit of a cover to their teammates. But Smokey, Haitatami, you're a little too late, mate, as 2 of your teammates have already been dropped down, and right now, it all boils down to how Dylan is going to be able to stop the 2 players of Leo Esports making their presence felt right here on this. It seems it's not going to be able to work out as Dylan also goes down with that perfect spray coming in. It seems Leo Esports probably might be the one who will be able to eliminate the 2 players, and just like that, Bad Intentions once again do get eliminated on the 16th position. Though this time around, they did end up taking 2 along with them. That means 2 defeat points have been confirmed for the players of Bad Intentions. So definitely not the kindest start they anticipated from that fight. But herein, we need to talk about how Leo Esports actually engaged. They were 2-man split. They jumped into the compound. The 2 players were already down, and then the 2 players come in to try and make a revenge factor story that could have gone against them. Though this time around, Leo Esports were able to get their opponents defeated. That was Bad Intentions. But apart from that, now we've got TRZ taking on the opportunity and being so very silent against the players of Illuminate True, where Woofus has already gone down. Alongside that, it seems like Novax is going to be in the far long corners of this compound, and at the edge, he's been able to drop down steel shot from TRZ. It all boils down to Mamba exactly how exactly does he want to play this fight. Pop in the first aid that he's got, the only first aid that he's got. Along with that, he's ready with this perfect shotgun action that he can be, of course, taken down Novax with. But it seems for now it's not going to be able to do anything. Novax going on to the flank angle has already been, of course, taken a lot of shots from the other players of TRZ as Mamba jumps in. And this is where it seems Illuminate True are they just running for it. They only have a few mere seconds before they get eliminated. But it seems like before Novax goes down, he's going to be able to take on the opportunity to bring down Steel Shot from TRZ. As Mad Cat is down, it seems like right now Novax is going to be able to confirm that elimination point as well. Novax, he's playing the cat and mouse chase to perfection right now. Since the past minute, we've been looking at Mamba trying to catch hold of Novax, but to no avail right now. It's all going in vain. But now it seems like this is probably going to be the do and die situation for the side of Novax. But no, it's not, because it's once again Novax plans to fight another fight and Mamba goes down. What a chaotic situation this has turned out to be. But Novax, an incredible control in this fight right now. A brilliant IQ play being showcased right here. Quite a lot of course, things that could have gone wrong for him. Well, never mind, it definitely have, because right now, third party is what has resulted in Illuminate True's Novax going down. But kudos to him. Real good play right there.
Certainly, valiant from his side. He was playing like a hero in this particular fight. Yes, the numbers were bringing him, but still he was able to do enough damage onto the side of TRZ. And I8, well, again, not a good start for them.
Again, I mean, what it reminded me of, Shadow, therefore I was talking about the cat and mouse chase is because I was thinking about the coyote from long back age Looney Tunes shows, right? And the coyote would always be after this Roadrunner guy. It was just that storyline being thrown all over again, where Novex was the Roadrunner, roaming about in circles, and Mamba was just trying to figure out as to what exactly is going on here. I mean, I've got this humongous gun on me, MD49, and I can definitely take on these shots and sprays, but it seems like this one cunning player, he's able to bring down and mow down pretty much all the players from the side of that team. But never mind that. Right now, we move away from that fight towards Abrupt Slayers. For now, slow pace is what we're looking at from their side, because they know, as we just spotted, right next to Sleepy is the position of DEADEYES guys as well. So Sleepy wants to be as quiet as he possibly can be around this Pareto Hill situation that he's in. And alongside that, we can also see that stage 2 is going to be coming to an end in another 5 seconds. So based off of that information, ASL is in a good position. But are they ready to take this fight? And in the minimap, we can see the amount of noise that is being made. It's all coming in from the side of DEADEYES guys, as ASL is being so very quiet. But not anymore, as Sleepy. That was a little too early, mate. You could have been a little slow and, of course, tried to keep a bit of a trigger discipline over there. Then there would have been a chance for DEADEYES guys to not even know what hit them, and ASL could have completely obliterated the position. But right now we can see on top, sir, from the side of DEADEYES, is going to be moving into a completely different area altogether itself. I wonder if he's going for a flank, because he's actually leaving the high ground that he was on to go down to the compound. In fact, not only him, his entire team is doing so. But look at this, Elementrix with a Vector in entry frag's hand will be able to take down not one but two players. No, it'll only be one spray and one player goes down. But with that entry frag, will sadly also lose out on his life, as now Elementrix are left with a 3-man squad, whereas for 4MV, they just got an easy defeat point.
Easy defeat point, but they also have to go for the revival onto the fallen teammates. But Elementrix, well, they are not looking good at all in this situation. They have to back off, because this is not a position from where they can pick off the players of 4MV, especially the strongest team, because 4MV is not a team that you can take lightly. And yes, one defeat point already in their favor. They're already looking very good in terms of the position they are having inside the circle. They have the height control. They have the complete control of that particular mountain. On the other side, we have the players of NB Esports. Well, they have a good compound to their name, but defending a single squad house is never an easy task. So that is something NB Esports have to be very careful about, because if some teams rushes towards their compound, could be the players of DRS or maybe the players of Stalwart Esports, or from the northern side, Abrupt Slayers can also try and take the control of that very compound. So NB Esports need to be careful about that particular thing. But majority of the teams are still on the periphery, like the players of IHC, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, still taking things very slow, going for late rotation, playing on the edge of the circle. No complaints, because SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they need those points. They have to survive till the final circles, and whatever they are doing right now is working for them. The way they have regrouped all the 4 players, going for the rotation together, well, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is looking so promising in this one as well.
They definitely do, till this marker, till this point where we reach stage 4. They've made their rotations perfectly. They've got nothing to worry about apart from just taking on those fights. And for that also, it seems like SG is prepared today. But alongside all of that, we've got the second airdrop being dropped right here, right next to Elementrix's position as well. Though sadly, Elementrix are not alone in that area. Alongside that, as we move back towards the players of, as they seem to have caught on to the players of Stalwart, Action as well as IC were being sprayed on upon. And what a perfect mini 14 tap shots coming in from the side of Sek right here from NB Esports. But again, he's given away his position. The same window angle, he should not try and peek, because STE is going to be prepared and ready. But at the same point of time, when we were part of the map, we also did see DRS are going to be right around the corner as well. So there could be a third-party opportunity for DRS to chime in and along and take this compound against the players of NB Esports. So that's a tough conversion for DRS to do as well, because the team in the compound is NB Esports. Previous game as well, they were showcasing some real good signs of relief, and of course getting the hunger to get those points for themselves. 11 eliminations is what NB Esports got in the previous one, so still cannot put them out of question to be able to, of course, get a good game from this one as well. But moving away from them towards the school region, from the north we saw SKYLIGHTZ Gaming making a late rotation, But now it seems like Sitten Esports are the ones that they're going to have to deal with before they're going to be allowed an entry into the zone.
Look at the position of AJ. He's so very close to the players of Sitten Esports. And Sitten, well, they have no idea, or maybe they do have an idea, all thanks to the smoke that AJ is trying to deploy to provide the necessary soft cover to deny vision to the players of Sitten Esports. But Zero with that M416 is trying to dish out some damage to the vehicle of the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. And AJ, well, he needs to escape from the situation as soon as possible. And this grenade could be deadly for AJ, but looks like he's going to make a safe escape and scuttle back to the safety and regroup with his teammates. That is required in this situation. And SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, well, they have managed to escape from a tricky situation at this point. But for how long? Because they still don't have the control of the circle. They still don't have a good position to hold on to in the stage 3 circle. On the other side, Sitten Esports, they are looking good. Yes, they are out there in the open, but they are on the edge of the circle, so nothing to worry about. But Sandesh and Godless, well, Sandesh with that buggy is trying to lure out the player Godless over there. And looks like Godless is not looking good at all. And Jane along with that buggy. But Godless, he have a big weapon. He has a big weapon in his hand. That is going to be Groza. So T2K needs to be a bit careful because Groza in close range, we know how powerful and potent this gun is.
Well, let's see though if IHC is going to be able to get any shots on point, on target right here or not, because T2K, they seem to be on the run, on the move, and that in turn is making things very tricky for IHC to be able to get even a single defeat point converted right there. And right now it seems like they're going to be falling back from that area as the zone has moved away, which is definitely a good decision. T2K have actually already tried to do that, or maybe not. Correction. They've actually stopped. They've stood their ground. I thought they were getting into their vehicles to get into the zone, but they've just regrouped, re-evaluated the situation. T2K Rig is all the way far back at the end of that blues. So a tricky position that IHC and T2K are in. And if they decide to extend this fight, then the blues is going to be giving away quite a lot of damage to both of these teams. And yep, it's happening exactly like I was thinking about. T2K has decided, as we can see in the minimap, towards the top right-hand side, a team that is in the red are going to be the players of T2K. And they are the ones who are trying to, of course, figure out where exactly do we enter the zone from. They are in the vehicles. They're trying to scope out and spot any other opportunities around in the vicinity. From one side, it was IHC. From the other, it's going to be Serum Esports. So tough conversion in terms of rotation right here being showcased to the players of T2K.
And NB Esports, well, Stalwart Esports are looking to take control of that very compound. And NB Esports, they have to defend it. And ISC Demo coming with a vehicle run over onto the plus of T2K. Rig goes down. And the grenades are coming in from the side of Stalwart Esports. But it is a weapon that is speaking as they manage to take down 2 plus from the side of NBES. And Fist White Grenades takes down action over there. Now Stalwart Esports, they have to go for the revival. Smokes are down to provide the necessary cover to action. And I see, but again, Sek with a grenade takes down Z over the situation, and Zero on the other side is also going down. So on the map we have some other fight also going on somewhere else, but NB Esports Fistboy is going for the confirmation onto the plus of Stalwart Esports, and looks like Stalwart Esports, well, they are surviving with only one single player, that is going to be Tots.
Fist boy, that over aggression, mate. That was just, I mean, I understand what he was trying to do over there, but he knew exactly where the player was. He knew that he had already kept his crosshair over there. That stops that I'm talking about. But no, man, now it seems like an opportunity for DRS to be able to capitalize upon, because NB Esports have been eliminated with only a single confirmed elimination point to their name. On the other side for STE, for Stalwart Esports, this is the opportunity for IC and Mirs to be able to give that revival. But on the other side of the map altogether itself, we've got IHC against the players of Abrupt Slayers, as IHC were not ready for this. Godless to go down. Joel, the player from IHC, has been able to, of course, take a trade right there as Charlie takes a knock from the side of ASL. It is all boiling down to how Alex and Demo are going to be playing this out. In fact, only Alex, because Demo has been dropped down as well, and this nade could very well bring down the players of ASL as well. It could be a 1v1 situation. That's exactly what it turned out to be, where Gangster against Alex, the two players who are going to go head in head against each other to understand as to who will be the one who will stand up true and tall, and that's going to be none other than Abrupt Slayers. With 2 of their players already eliminated, well, never mind, all of the players' correction have been eliminated thanks to another third-party approach being showcased right here from the players of T2K.
So many fights are happening, and now we are left with only 11 teams and 31 players remaining. T2K, well, they have to transition themselves inside the circle, but doing so, they might have to cross path with the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. So T2K needs to be a bit careful, but they are looking strong. Yes, they are down to 3 men, 6 defeat points, and looks like they have already spotted and Ruik from the side of DE Venom. And you take hefty damage from that M416 precise spray coming from Jane. Well, all he has is that little vehicle for the cover. But how he's going to save himself? Because sooner or later, Sanhok might go for the flank angle and try and take down Ruik in the situation. And that is exactly what is happening. As we can see in the mini-map, few players of T2K are already closing distance and moving towards the side of Ruik. So Ruik, better be careful. No cavalry, no backup is coming for him as Domi has his own troubles. He's also out there in the open. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming have a good compound to their name. At the same time, we have the players of DE as well in the adjacent compound.
Indeed, with a two-man split coming in from the players of DEADEYES, guys. Along with that, talking about the zone from the south, we've got 4MV making a rotation. Alongside that, it seems like Ryuk has been eliminated. T2K Jane is on fire today, with I believe 6 eliminations confirmed for him. But right now, he's going to be jumping into this compound against the players of course, Venom DE, where of course Domi is the player who's going to be in the process. But it seems like with the UMP in Domi's hand, T2K's journey and story is going to be eliminated right here, along with his teammate Sandesh as well as Suyog. So tough luck affair right there from T2K. But ouch moment indeed, as from an open window, Venom DE's Domi has been eliminated. 9 teams remaining. STE pushed onto the compound right here against the players of DEADEYES, guys.
Well, certainly, DEADEYES true love, sir. This grenade can be deadly as the players of Stalwart Esports are down to few little HPs over there, but the perfect projectile is still missing. DEADEYES, yes, they do have the numbers. Stalwart Esports needs to be a bit careful. As the HPK comes from the back end, over there, trying to take the last remaining player, but missing the perfect shots. Now he has to go for the reload. At the same time, he has to patch himself up as he's down to 10 HP. DE not looking so very good. Nirzad only man standing, and now Nirzad has his own trouble as it is a 1v3 situation, but still he managed to take down Onfixer as well. Or maybe it was a third party and it was SKYLIGHTZ Gaming who are doing the perfect third party in the situation. And now DE, they have to deal with the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming as well, and they do realize this is not a position. They have to reposition themselves, and in doing so, No Fear takes down Slayer as well.
Well, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, what a perfect opportunistic affair this has turned out to be for them, because of course it was Stalwart Esports taking on shots in this exact same compound, making a lot of noise. They have been eliminated. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming are the only team who are going to be able to, of course, obliterate the opponents right here, as DEADEYES have been pushed down back to just a one-man squad. Same is the case for TRZ as well as Sitam Esports. In all of this chaos, we've got SKYLIGHTZ Gaming leading the charge right now. But in terms of eliminations, we've got Leo Esports with 7, DRS with 6. Sadly, both those teams, the momentum must have worked in their favor, but right now they're sitting with just a two-man squad. So a difficult conversion for the side of both of those teams, Leo Esports as well as DRS. But numbers, like I said, going in favor of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming does give them an opportunity to take this game by a storm. Previous one was not allowed. This time around, it seems it is going to be theirs. But this zone is going to be moving in the next 30 seconds. Quite a lot of chaos that I'm expecting, because the zone is going to be out in the open. As of now, quite a lot of these teams are in the compounds right next to Pochinki. But with that, the final player from the side of DEADEYES, guys, True Love Sir, he's going to be utilizing his Molotovs and throwables to try and keep out the players of SG for as long as he possibly can.
But the shotgun supremacy that is coming from the side of DEADEYES, guys, S12K, the way he was trying to take down, in fact, took down the players of Stalwart Esports. True love, sir, kudos to him. Yes, he's the only man standing. It's not the ideal situation for him. He's trying to make a quick escape from the situation somehow, and maybe try to take down the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming in an outnumbered fight. The amount of utility he's using in the situation, look at the amount of smoke he's trying to deny the entire vision, but from both the windows, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming are trying to lob the grenades, and True Love Sir has found a perfect angle to hide himself and save himself from the coming grenades. But still, it's not an easy fight for him. Sooner or later, he has to deal with all the 4 players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. And for how long can he stay hidden? Yes, he takes a jump from the building, switches to FPP, trying to take down AJ in the close frontal battle, but the S12K supremacy is going to be missing in this situation, as the perfect shots are not landing. But Killer YT from the side of DRS to a third party and takes down AJ, at the same time Nima as well. But it is True Love Sir that gets confirmation onto one player. Now SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they are facing what they did. Now they're facing their own medicine, third party being created from the side of DRS. But True Love Sir also gets eliminated, all thanks to the players of DRS Gaming. And now SKYLIGHTZ Gaming needs to be a bit careful from the players of DRS.
Indeed, DRS again. They are in the zone. They've got this watchtower that they've, of course, taken charge of. But they're just a two-man squad. They're trying their level best. Around them, surrounding them is going to be Sitem Esports as well, with just that one final player who's surviving. In all of this, of course, quite a lot of damage has been done to the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming as well. So the opportunity that was being provided to them to get this chicken dinner in the bag seems to be getting a little slim. But at the same point of time, they are the only team who have 3 players surviving as of now. Sitem with just a final player, Elementrix with 3 as well. But Elementrix, they are kind of dormant from all of this chaos that is ensuing in the final moments of this Erangel. On the backlines, we can see Elementrix. Again, the crosshairs are not being set up from the side of DRS, or maybe they don't even know where the players of Elementrix are at. Let's see how exactly are these players and teams going to be able to fare it out in this game, because in the next 20 seconds, we've got another change in the stage and the zone is going to be shifting, which could mean SKYLIGHTZ Gaming's compound could be taken away from them.
Possibility is definitely there. If the circle goes towards a bit of southern side, yes, Elementrix and DRS are going to benefit in this situation, and SKYLIGHTZ, they have to leave their compound. But if the circle goes towards the side of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, then they do have a good opportunity, and looks like, well, the circle goes south. So SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they have to move inside the circle, and it's not going to be so easy because all the noise they were making, DRS is already waiting for the players to come out. At the same time, Elementrix is also ready. Then we have a single player from the side of Intention X Esports as well. So SKYLIGHTZ Gaming can come into the process of not just 3 teams, and it doesn't look good at all for them.
Indeed, and look at this for Elementrix as well. It looks things are going to be getting heated up because they now need to get away from the compounds that they were in right here at Pochinki and get out of the zone. And that means to get into the zone, they're going to have to be out in the open. At the same point of time, 149 bullets left right here for the side of DRS rules. Well, again, I'm kind of dreading if the worst situation happens where he does not have enough bullets. But never mind. We'll talk about that and speculate about that later, because SKYLIGHTZ Gaming have made a rotation, have gotten closer to the watchtower of DRS, and now DRS needs to be ultra cautious because they've got so many open windows right here, so many different angles that all the individual teams know that they should be, of course, keeping an eye out towards, and just one good spray and DRS could be brought down to just a sliver of HP, or maybe even just a one-man squad, because all these teams from different directions. From the south, we can see Elementrix. From northern side, for DRS's watchtower is going to be SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. Sitem Esports' final player, Desert X, is just going to be keeping a close, keen eye towards what's happening, but definitely not participating as he's a one-man army.
And SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they have managed to find some bit of the cover and some relief in those little dip areas around that watchtower. And now DRS Gaming, they are in a tricky spot because grenades can come from the side of No Fear and from the side of Elementrix as well. So DRS, like you mentioned, one grenade and they can be down to one-man army, or maybe this could be the demise for the players of DRS. So they need to be very cautious. Mafia Ninja also at the same time keeping close eye onto the players of Elementrix, and looks like he has a vague idea where exactly Frag could be, and now Frag out there in the open with a buggy. Mafia Ninja with M416 trying to dish out some damage, but the perfect spray that was required is missing in. With this Molotov, he's trying to take down the player, but let's see if he can do so. Can he lure him out of his cover? And no is the answer, but rolls with that M416 is going to take down Pirate. So Elementrix Esports, there is no chance they can go for revival, but it is Mafia Ninja who gets the confirmation with that Molotov.
Well, that means Elementrix is down to a two-man squad as well. It all boils down to how exactly SKYLIGHTZ Gaming going to be playing this out, because they have the information, they've got the cover. All they need to do is, of course, take down Elementrix as well as DRS. DRS have a watchtower compound that's going to be working for them, but SKYLIGHTZ Gaming got their inch, of course, one by one. The sprays are coming in, and that in turn has taken away the opportunity from Elementrix to get a good game outing from this one. In all of this, once again, one thing needs to be, of course, spoken. That's going to be Sitem Esports' Desert X. He can very well be the ending nail in the coffin against the players of SG, because right now we can clearly see SG is very much focused towards that watchtower and Elementrix's position, but they do not know where exactly this fourth team player is, and that fourth team player is Sitem Desert X. That's right behind them.
Well, certainly he's behind them. The numbers are in the favor of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. They have good hard cover to work around with. They do have the real estate. Can they get this one? Because last time they missed it, and now I'm thinking why I didn't make SKYLIGHTZ Gaming in my prediction. Elementrix on the other side, well, they are still in the crosshairs of Mafia Ninja, and with that killer YTT, with that UMP 45 takes down Astra over there. Desert is still hiding, not making any sound, and killer YT at the same time gets confirmation onto Astra. That means Elementrix now they're also down to only a single player. DRS, the way they are defending their wizard tower is so phenomenal in this situation, because they were prone to those grenades, but still they have managed to defend it and still standing very strong. They do have the circle, but they don't have enough resources. No, they do have the resources as well. Rules is still keeping a close eye onto the plus of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, as his teammate is picking fight with the plus of Elementrix, and killer YTT, he's not stopping for anyone as he takes down the last man also from Elementrix. Now we are down to only 3 teams and 6 players remaining. The numbers are in the favor of SKYLIGHTZ.
Indeed, definitely. They've got a 3-man squad as they jump in to get closer and closer towards, of course, the compound of DRS right now. AJ was sprayed on upon, and now they've gotten so very close to Desert X. Now, Desert X, this is his moment. This is the way to be able to capitalize on those situations. Sadly, that has not taken place, though at the same point of time, for the side of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, AJ, he's taken a lot of damage right there, with his health going down to almost 30%. At the same point of time, his teammate also needs to, of course, get that first aid popped, and this is the moment where, of course, DRS Gaming's all the utility is going to be played out right. That is, if they're able to connect the shots and connect the connect it perfectly to the opponents right there. A lot of smoke being utilized right here, which could very well mean that SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, with the numbers advantage going in their favor, could maybe be anticipating to push in through the smoke. But will that be allowed from DRS's rules right here, where rules, of course, is utilizing all of his Molotovs and usables, but is now left with just one final Molotov, and that's it. While all of that chaos was ensuing, look at the big IQ play being showcased from DRS. Because of all that smoke and all that commotion from rules, Killer YT has been able to slip away to create a flank.
And a beautiful flank. He do have a little bit of the haystack to make a cover for himself. He can take down Mafia Ninja because they have no idea where exactly killer YTT is, and with a grenade, AJ takes down Rules over there. Mafia Ninja has been taken down by killer YTT. At the same time, he takes down No Fear as well, bringing it down to 1v1 situation with AJ. AJ going for the rescue mission, but there is no time, as with the UMP 45, killer YTT is closing the distance, but he won't be able to clutch it out. But valiant effort from his side. But this winner chicken dinner goes in the hands of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming.
Come on, that was so close. That was so close. That was an incredible conversion right there, of course, from SG's side. But at the same point of time, you have to give props where it's due, and that's going to be the players of DRS. They played their cards right. With 18 points, though, in the end, it is going to be SKYLIGHTZ Gaming walking away with a chicken dinner, finding themselves on the 8th spot in the overall ranking.
Your order is here.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Hello and welcome once again right here at PMPL SA, where of course in the spring season 2023 we are in week 2, day number 3 upon us, and it is continuing on by a storm, where of course 2 games are done till now. We got the first one on Sanhok where it was high voltage, walking away with the chicken dinner. This time around, the first Erangel of the day, and it goes in favor of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, where it was this close. It was this close that DRS could have clutched it, gotten me a prediction point, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because in the end, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is the team that we've been talking about, who have made good rotations, just need to be able to capitalize on those rotations. This time, they did it perfectly.
Not just this time, Blotter, last time also in the map of
Last game also, yes.
SKYLIGHTZ played it to perfection. They missed that winner chicken dinner, but now they get it. And the way DRS cleared YTT, he brought on the situation from 1v3 to 1v1. Valiant effort from his side.
True.
The way with that UMP45, the perfect flank angle that he created for himself. Kudos to him. But yes, in terms of placement points, he's not going to get that 10 placement points still. He's the MVP with 6 elimination of his own, 966 damage that he was dishing out, 6 knocks and 224 healings done. The amount of healings done is a bit high because of the grenades that were coming in their direction, because they were picking so many fights. So DRS, well, this time, good game from their side as well.
Indeed, most certainly well-deserving Killer Whitey of that MVP right there, as was clearly showcased, and as you mentioned as well, with the way he was able to create the flank and utilize it to perfection in a 1v3 situation. Had his teammate, of course, ironed it out to a 1v2 as well, it could have been a different scenario. But again, Rules OG, the way that mind game was played right there to, of course, take away all the brunt of the aggression from SG and allow Killer Whitey to go outside, of course, of that watchtower and then create that flank. Wonderful play right there. But eventually, again, it was SKYLIGHTZ Gaming who got the chicken dinner. Alongside that, let's also talk about the top players from this game. We have DRS's Killer Whitey, who is going to be the one leading the charge because he's the MVP. But then following along is going to be T2K's Jane with 5 eliminations, 579 damage in only 17 and 40 seconds minute of survival time.
Well, certainly, T2K, they didn't survive for very long time, but we have AJ with 4 elimination of his own, 377 damage. Then we have Mr. Smokey from the side of Leo Esports. This time, Leo, they capitalize in the elimination department, but placement points are not for them, but still a good performance coming from this particular lad as well. In the match summary, it is all about Killer Whitey in terms of highest elimination, highest damage done, highest assist are coming from the side of No Fear. At the same time, highest healings done are also No Fear with 300 healings.
Absolutely. And again, I mean, it is DRS and SKYLIGHTZ Gaming through and through as we look at this match summary list, of course, because of the way both of these teams played it out. They were the ones who were left out to be the ones leading the charge. And of course, a 1v1 situation could have gone either ways, resulted in SG getting the best of it. With that, let's move ahead, talk about the match ranking as well. In the match ranking, let's see how big of a difference that these two teams far apart, and they're only 3 points shy is going to be DRS Gaming right there, and SKYLIGHTZ Gaming with 18 points, along with, of course, the chicken dinner looking very comfortable on the first. But moving down south from those 2 positions, we've got Leo Esports with 8 eliminations of their own, T2K with 0 placement points, but 6 eliminations that they participated in. So most definitely a really good play, but look at that, Sidam Esports' Desert X, by just being the lone survivor all the way till the end, he was able to, of course, get Sidam Esports 5 points thanks to finishing 3rd.
Well, certainly, but 4 MV, again, this time not so very promising performance. Yes, 3 points in their name, but we expect so much more from these 3 teams. Abrupt Slayers, Stalwart Esports and 4 MV, 3 and 4 points to them. Venom D, this time again sitting on the 12th with 3 points of their own. NB Esports not having a very good outing in this one. Just a single point to their name. Then we have Bad Intention at the 15th spot with only 2 points. IHC also, what is happening to IHC? Let's talk about IHC Blotter, because yesterday they showcased a very good performance. They delivered good amount of frags also in the game, good points to the name. But today again, IHC, well, they are not bringing the consistent gameplay that we talk about so much.
Indeed, and that is something that we are yet to find out as to what could be the reason for IHC being underwhelming in terms of their performance. But right now, let's talk about the overall ranking itself that's going to be on our screens for week 2, where 10 matches, have been played by quite a lot of these teams, and a few of them have played 9. But nevertheless, again, talking about leading the charge is going to be Stalwart Esports with 98 points. Following them very closely is going to be T2K Esports, both of them with a single chicken dinner. And then come in DRS Gaming and IHC, who have gotten 2 chicken dinners both, but have still not, been in the top 2 lists. So there's still a lot of differences that can be played out in terms of how IHC played week 1 and week 2. But again, the consistency that we bring up every single time when the conversation is on, that is missing big time from IHC. And they need to figure out a way to be able to, of course, get that working. I know they've got a little bit of change going on in between the players as well, as they've got new player in amongst their midst. So the team maybe is taking a little bit longer to understand the synergistic play, the communication and all of that. Sadly, though, it's just not favored them just yet. Again, they are in the top 5, so that again is going to be perfectly working out for IHC. But with that, now we move on to the third match of the day, which again is going to be taking us to the map of Erangel, where this time around Group C is not participating. That means DRS Gaming, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, NB Esports, as well as Illuminate True will not be seen on this map.
Well, certainly these 4 teams are sitting out. That means now High Voltage, Maptex Esports, Seal Esports and Raw Esports will be joining us in the map of Erangel. And High Voltage in the previous Sanhok, they played well. They got a chicken dinner for themselves. Good rotations, good gameplay came from the side. So can they deliver the same thing in this particular Erangel? We'll see, because consistency is something that we talk about a lot. And High Voltage, well, they need that consistent performance this time, because week 1 was in their favor, but week 2, first 2 days, one not going in their favor, so they have to perform on the 3rd day.
Absolutely, and that would mean that this is the moment for them to shine. This is day number 3. This is going to be the 3rd game of the day, which is of course taking us closer and closer towards the end of the opportunity that's available to so many of these teams, as throughout the entirety of the day, each and every single team ends up playing 4 games. And once that is done, we'll get that much more of a clear understanding that are they going to get close to the top 12, because on Sunday, the 6th game that will be played will be the bonus game, which will be played on Vikendi. That is going to allow bonus points to these teams, and to be able to participate in that, you have to be in the top 12 in the overall ranking, which again is looking tough for quite a lot of these teams. With that, let's jump in once again with the flight path on our screens, taking us from the northern side, from north all the way down south. Of course, this is going to be Georgia Pole right below us, and that would mean perhaps this time around IHC would like to start off from South Georgia, as that has been known to be their drop location earlier.
Certainly, AHC will head towards the side of Georgia Pole. Then we have the players of 4MB. They'll go towards the side of military base. Original drop spots coming in. No big change. T2K will, again, they will head towards the side of Sivorni. Last time, in terms of the elimination, yes, T2K managed to get 6 points for themselves, but still they need to do much better if they want to topple over Stalwart Esports on the top. Yes, consistency is coming from their side. Then we have the players of Leo Esports. Maybe this time Leo will be towards the side of Gatka. Last match also, in terms of elimination, high fracking game came from the side of Leo Esports. But the question is where the first circle is going to be.
Where should the first zone take us to? We've pretty much seen all of the different zones on the map. For now, perhaps something like a Sivorni, Yasnaya Poliana zone would be a good start to the game. Or even for that matter, Shelter or Milta Power could actually be an interesting one, because it's been some time since I last casted a game taking us down towards Milta Power. But right now it is going to be a pretty generic zone, allowing the teams for a really good rotation. Pretty much all of them are going to be able to make this rotation, I believe. But it is the curveball shifts that I wait for from this zone later on in the game. As of now, it is looking very comfortable, especially for teams like High Voltage, who are pretty much in the zone itself. For DEADEYES, they find themselves at Rozhok, again looking comfortable. But DE dropping down at Rozhok, I'm sure would have been caught on by the players of High Voltage. So perhaps they're going to be moving away from that area. Now, when it comes to Yasnaya, we know that Yasnaya as of now is open up for grabs for any team. But will there be somebody who will jump into that area? Because majority of the times it's actually Sitim Esports who goes towards Yasnaya. Though today We'll have to come back to that if they decide to do so on this final Erangel game of the day. Because after this, we've got 2 games remaining that will be played out on the map of Miramar back-to-back. But for the final Erangel, what do we have in store? At Nova Rapnoi, once again, a comfortable drop for Stalwart Esports every single time. Are going to be looting across the entirety of it without anybody to trouble them whatsoever. But where is the first blood? Where, or rather, which team is around close proximity to their opponent to bring us a first blood? These teams, like Stalwart Esports, nobody goes down towards their drop location. Same is the case for 4MV, who are right around the corner from Stalwart. And Refuse seems to be wanting to just check his weapon or scare his teammate, maybe. I'm not sure what exactly was that spray for. But yeah, they're just having a banter over there with lead and different guns, it seems like, because they're bored. And the reason they're bored is because, like I was saying, 4MV, they drop down towards military base, nobody around in the vicinity to give them any trouble. Same with Stalwart Esports, they go around towards Nova Rapnoi. No team wants to take on that team by a storm, and thus allows them a clear berth towards Stalwart Esports at Nova Rapnoi.
Well, Stalwart Esports, a very consistent team. Week number 1, week number 2, both week this team has has always impressed us the most by the performance. Every single time they get good points in their favor. This time they're sitting on the top in the overall ranking. But talking about high voltage, well, they have found residency in the apartments and the school area, but like you were mentioning, the first split situation, it can happen towards the side of North Georgiapur, where the players of Seal Esports and DE Venom share the same drop location. We have seen them go up against each other few of the times, so maybe this time again they can go up against each other. On the other side, we have the players of TRZ towards the quarry area or towards the Primorsk area, where the players of Elementrix are also in the close proximity. So yes, there could be a possibility of a first plus situation being drawn over there when both these teams will try to transition themselves inside the circle. So let's find out where exactly that first blood will be drawn, because all these teams, they have realized the importance of the points, how crucial it is to survive till the 3rd or the 4th circle with all the 4 players alive. Because if you manage to survive till the phase 4 circle with all the 4 players alive, definitely is going to be a good game in terms of placement and the elimination points for you. So initial fights, every single team is avoiding at this point. Seal Esports, well, like I said, yes, few games Seal Esports shine the most with getting a chicken dinner for themselves, good elimination points, but the very next game inconsistency comes from their side. So Seal Esports needs to work on this. But talking to the lineup as well, I think Sanchar is the guy that impressed me the most from the side of Seal Esports, because he's always the one creating an opening for the team, taking down the opponents. Even he's always the last man standing as well. So Sanchar, if he gets backup of his teammates, I think this team can perform really good.
Indeed, they definitely can, and have done so, and showcased that resilience to the lobby. But consistency, once again, the word that keeps on repeating itself right here on the desk, where you have to be consistent. That is the only way you're going to be sticking around in the top 10. And of course, making your presence in the bonus map as well. For now, towards Yasnaya, it seems like Serum Esports have found their way towards Yasnaya Poryana. And again, for Serum Esports, there hardly is any trouble at Yasnaya. Whenever they're in the lobby, pretty much every team knows that Serum Esports will be at Yasnaya, so no point going down there. Which is interesting though, if you think about it, because on the map of Sanhok, we know that on Paradise Resort, Illuminate True and NB Esports have had this rivalry going on for Paradise Resort on Sanhok. For Erangel though, as of yet, there isn't really a drop contestation or a rivalry sort of a situation that has taken or brewn across between any of these teams. So again, clearly showcases the fact that Erangel is the map that everybody loves, is very accustomed to, is very open with. But how exactly will this be playing out this time around though? Because as Shadow was mentioning earlier as well, nobody wants to be a part of those first early fights, which in turn has provided us with a little bit of a podcast moment right here, as we are yet to see a first blood situation. Leo Esports incredible play being showcased from the side of this team as well. Decent amount of points that they are able to accumulate on day number 3 right here of week 2. But will it be enough? For Leo Esports, that is going to be a tough conversation that they're going to have later at the end of the day. For now, that much more of a brutal, honest conversation that a team needs to have within themselves is going to be the team of Raw officials. At times, they play it so well, they play their cards right, and get those elimination points racked up, and then boost themselves on the leaderboard, and then suddenly, the next few games, they come tumbling down. So that kind of a play that Raw officials are making is not really helping their cause as well. But today is another day. Maybe with this third game, they might be able to change that storyline.
Well, definitely they'll be looking to create a different storyline and maybe change things for themselves. But right now, Leo Esports and TRZ, well, they're going for a similar rotation and maybe they'll try and engage in a fight. But if that happens, this is not an ideal position to engage in a fight. And looks like Steel Shot out there in the open, spotted by Haidami, and Haidami instantly takes him down, getting knocked and looking for the confirmation point as well. But Leo, Mr. Smokey, well, he takes in Mamba as well, gets a confirmation onto Mamba. Now TRZ, they're down to only 2 men, and Haidami is already spraying onto one other player whose vehicle has definitely taken a lot of damage. So TRZ things are not looking good at all for them. This map is going south for the players of TRZ, as numbers are not in their favor, and Leo Esports, well, they are on a hunt. They are on a hunt for the remaining players of TRZ, and the segregation that is coming from both the players TRZ, well, they can't give each other the necessary backup required in this situation. A 2v4 has been brought down to a 1v4 situation, and look at the placement of 4MV. Even 4MV can do a third party in this situation. That could be deadly for the players of Leo Esports, because they are not prepared for a 4v4 compact in an open field.
Indeed, I was just thinking to myself, Leo Esports, don't get too greedy right now. I mean, you've gotten 2 elimination points confirmed, that is good. Be happy about that. But right now, the position that they were going towards, exactly what you mentioned, 4MV were patiently waiting. They had already heard all the commotion that had ensued right there, which in turn has provided with an opportunity for 4MV to actually take up a little bit of damage against the rotating team. And of course, that for now has not opened up any elimination points yet for 4MV, but most certainly given them a good start. At the same point now, it seems on the other side of the map altogether, we've got ASL against the players of DE as well as Bad Intentions, and well, interesting turn of events. The first team to get eliminated right now, well, no surprise there. I don't know if I can say that or not, but that's exactly what it's turning out to be in terms of the storyline, where a team called Bad Intentions once again has not had a good start to the game. Right now it's going to be ASL against the compound and warehouse of the players of DE. A lot of nades being showcased across from the side of Chari as well as the Abrupt Slayers. Players are going to be able to dominate, and DEADEYES guys are not going to be able to do much. 4 elimination points confirmed, and that is where they bid adieu to this lobby, getting eliminated on the 15th position. So a tough situation for DEADEYES guys as well, as they got Bad Intentions eliminated, but sadly got third-partied against ASL.
That was a kind of a deja vu moment. DE, Abrupt Slayers and Bad Intention, these 3 teams going up against each other, where Bad Intention is the one getting early elimination. But Entry, what were you doing out there in open? Frag has been eliminated by the players of 4MV, and instant confirmation has been made, 1 defeat point to the players of 4MV. But Elementrix, well, they are now down to only 2 players. Individual players are being picked off. This is not looking good at all. On the other side, 4MV, they do have information about the players of Leo Esports, and the minute they create an opening, the minute they take 1 player from the side of Leo Esports, they will definitely rush into the compound, and with that, Mini Doc has managed to do so. But from the backlines, High Voltage is also chiming in, as they were trying to pepper few bullets onto the players of 4MV. Now the question is, are the players of 4MV going to rush towards the players of Leo Esports, or they are going to engage in a fight with the players of High Voltage? Because now it's a sandwich situation. Both the teams, Leo Esports and High Voltage, are aware of the position of 4MV.
Indeed, but 4MV, we could only see the 2 players from their side. I wonder what the other 2 players' position exactly is. And if the flank being created from the other 2 players from 4MV is played to perfection, then maybe they could very well lure the players of High Voltage into their game. But again, that is a tough call to make. We'll have to see what exactly it turns out to be. But right now, looking at the way the zone itself is dictating this fight, look at how we've got this perfect chaotic moment that is going to be starting right about now, where so many teams are trying to, of course, find their area. From the western side, we've got, of course, High Voltage against the players of 4MV. From the north, we've got late rotating teams of SKYLIGHTZ as well as Venom Esports. From down south, we just saw the players of Stalwart Esports make an entry from the bridge into the zone. But again, there isn't a lot of space for quite a lot of these teams to be able to, of course, stand their ground. That means in just a couple of minutes, we are going to be looking at peeps dropping down and teams getting eliminated, and that's exactly what we've got in store right now against the players of Mabitex, as they've got Kesse to give a cover for Stalwart Esports. We just saw them make a rotation from the bridge. It is going to be a tough entry for Stalwart Esports, but they seem to be well equipped and prepped. For Mabitex, though, they've got not Stalwart Esports but also T2K to deal with.
Well, T2K, they were trying to make rotation from the eastern side, and doing so, they face the players of, now they have to face the players of Mabitex Esports. Like you mentioned, Stalwart Esports is also in the close proximity. The numbers are not in the favor of T2K because one of their players has been taken down. I believe it was Stalwart Esports. They got the confirmation point, and Mabitex very well, he finds Yub as well, and instantly shuts him down, gets the confirmation point, and T2K, things are not looking good at all for this team, as they are down to only 2 players. And the segregation that is coming from both the players is also not supporting their case or their cause right now. On the other side, we have the players of 4MV as well, picking few good fights for themselves. High Voltage Eagle has been taken down by a vehicle explosion. So High Voltage, well, I hope their teammates are nearby so that easy rescue mission can come in. Yes, the teammate is nearby, but look at the position of Doc and East. They're trying to shoot in the direction of High Voltage from 2 different directions. I don't think High Voltage players will be able to survive, and that is exactly what is happening. Jiggle and Praveen both have been knocked down. Confirmation points are already coming in, and High Voltage, well, only a single player remaining. T2K Sandesh was the last man standing, not standing for very long, as DE Venom Krita takes him down, and T2K bids bye-bye at the 14th spot.
Indeed, and with that, 4MV are on the hunt to find down and hunt down the final player of High Voltage, as Assassin has created a big wall of smoke, but that's all that he's got, in fact, in terms of the cover. But at the same point of time, 4MV know that they cannot have this player lurking around in their flank angles at their clock, because after all, as soon as the zone starts making a shift and a curveball, High Voltage's final player could jump in and take down 4MV's 3-man squad to a 2-man army. But as of now, it seems like they both refuse, as well as, of course, his teammates are going to be jumping into this opportunity, and just like that, High Voltage's Assassin is going to be eliminated, thus meaning High Voltage Esports get eliminated on the 13th rank, giving us 12 total teams remaining, 38 players in total. And that also implies one more very crucial fact, which is from the western side of the zone, we've only got 4MV who can be now leading the charge. Earlier we had High Voltage as well as T2K, who were kind of around in the vicinity, that could have, locked horns against each other, but that all has kind of dissipated, because right now it's going to be 4MV jumping in from the west. But are they going to be allowed entry as they get closer and closer to a compound of the players of Elementrix?
Well, certainly, like you mentioned, 4MV, they have managed to mitigate all the threat from the western front, but they have to deal with the players of Stalwart Esports, and Tops with that mini tap-tap shot is going to get the confirmation point onto Dogs. So 4MV, their numbers are reduced to 3-man squad, but Stalwart Esports, they are picking fight on the multiple fronts, as IC is in close proximity to the remaining 2 players of TRZ, and looks like TRZ, they are in no mood to pick up any sort of fight right at this point. So Stalwart Esports, well, all the 4 players are inside the lobby. Tops needs to be a bit cautious, because TRZ, the way he's out there in the open, TRZ can capitalize at any moment. The segregation that is coming from the side of Stalwart Esports, let's hope it works in their favor, as Z is also keeping a close eye onto the players of Mabitex Esports. And Seal, well, they are trying to take down the players of Leo Esports, and looks like Leo Esports, now their numbers of Leo are dwindling down.
Indeed, that seems to be the case. And right now, as you were mentioning, in terms of the fight between these 2 teams, Stalwart Esports against Mabitex has turned into a little bit of a stalemate, as both of them have not been able to get a decent opening against each other. On the other side, Seal Esports against Leo Esports, the fight continues on forth. Rogue finds himself in this really broken and tattered little shack, but that's all that he's got in terms of the cover. At the same time, Leo Esports' Liquid is going to be jumping in to, of course, give Mr. Smokey a revival, which should probably be around the corner. As Seal Esports, when it comes to the player, Rogue, he's all by his lonesome. In that small little shack, he cannot do much. And just like that, he's gonna get eliminated. Haitami will be the man sending the ranks of Steel Esports out of this lobby on the 11th position. 10 teams remaining. Leo Esports, Mr. Smokey looking very, very good with 3 eliminations of his own. But this is where the conversation can very well be taken towards the players of IHC as they are on our screens with the compound in their favor against the players of Sitim Esports. Zoil, look at him, going out of his way to get that nade across to Sitim. But to no avail, because after all, Sitim Esports, they've got some cover as well. They've got the smoke definitely dissipated, which in turn is providing a perfect cover for themselves. But look at this. 4MV, the position that they're in. Sadly, they're just a two-man squad as they stole this compound away from Elementrix's position. But a two-man squad against so many individual players, this is going to be a tough luck conversion for 4MV. But nevertheless, before they get participating in this fight towards the north, we can see 2 teams, IHC, and right next to them, of course, we've got the players who are making a rotation. Alongside them, that's going to be ASL. Now, both of these teams have made an early rotation together towards this compound, but now it's all boiling down to who gets the first knock, and that's going to be Gangster going down from ASL. That means IHC, a 4v3 situation is what they've now gotten themselves working towards. Will that be enough? Well, make that a 3v3 because there has been equal trades taking place between these 2 teams. Will there be a third party in this fight? It seems highly unlikely as of now. Oh, well, there will be. Raw officials actually jumping along, take down the players of ASL, providing an opportunity for IHC to still be able to put a nail into this final coffin player, which in turn could be the demise of ASL as there's only Joker remaining from this squad.
One man standing from the side of Abrupt Slayers against the players of IHC. IHC is going for the revival onto the fallen teammates, but we have the players of DE Venom also going up against the players of Raw officials, where the numbers of Raw are not favoring their case, and Joker is using multiple grenades to take down at least one player from the side of IHC to even out the situation, because now it's a 1v3. Look at the amount of smoke that has been deployed. This denying vision to the players of Joker and IHC as well, and Joker takes on Godless. Godless had no idea about Joker. I don't know how he didn't hear the footsteps of Joker, but from the backlines, Demo along with his teammates is coming in, trying to take down Joker over there. Joker down to 20 HP, but they don't know exactly where Joker is. The smoke is denying the vision necessary in this situation, but now finally he has been eliminated, and Abrupt Slayers bids bye-bye at 10th spot. But now it is DE Venom who show on the doorstep for IHC, and LX with a grenade takes down Krita and eliminates the entire of Venom DE, the remaining 2 players. Now we are down to only 8 teams and 25 players.
What a smooth play that was coming in from Demo from IHC right there. A smooth criminal indeed, with that nade being able to eliminate the possibility of Venom DE to even poke the horns of IHC. That was incredible. But again, that, like Shadow mentioned, brings us down to 8 teams in total, 25 players, where Mavericks still taking shots against the players of Stalwart. Mavericks and Stalwart have been locking horns against each other for quite some time now, but sadly have not been able to convert that into a point, into a confirmed elimination actually, just yet, as Stalwart Esports are looking comfortable with all 4 players standing, and I believe same is the case for Mavericks Esports as well. But right now, we can see Refuse from the side of 4MV is making a lot of noise right there, all by his lonesome, drawing or maybe trying to draw attention. IHC being very quiet. Raw officials also have all 4 players. Same is the case for Leo Esports. Leo Esports, the best part for them is the momentum is working in their favor. They've already been able to accumulate 6 defeat points in their name. And now I believe all they're waiting for is the zone. Where is the zone going to be taking these 2? Oh, but in all of this, I completely missed out on TRZ. The 2 players, Mad Cat and Degree. They are also probably going to go in the water, and that in turn could be trouble brewing for later stages of the game. But right now on our screens, we've got the 4-man advantage of Mavericks being hurt a little right now because Stalwart have pushed on, and just like that, I see along with Ners going to be bringing a lot of trouble to the players of Mavericks, where one of them has been knocked down, and now it seems like with this perfect spray, Ners wants to convert this into an entire squad wipe all by his lonesome.
Well, Nized is unstoppable. The amount of utility he's bringing in this particular fight and action with the grenade takes down Leo, OP and Maptex. Well, they are in a tricky spot at this situation. Action with a follow-up grenade is looking for another knock or a confirmation onto the plus of Maptex Esports, and looks like the confirmation has been made. At the same time, Kese has been knocked on. Maptex Esports, the way they are joined at the hip, it is not favoring their cause at all. Multiple grenades, a barrage of grenades is coming from the side of Stalwart Esports, and Maptex, well, they are still surviving the trap that Stalwart Esports is bringing onto them. 5 defeat points, Stalwart Esports, all the 4 players still standing strong. Maptex Esports, I don't know how they're still surviving.
Well, somehow they definitely have been able to get at least 2 of their players to move into the zone itself. But as of now, with 6 teams remaining, IHC with a compound of their own, with all 4 players, seem to be wanting to dominate against the rotating team of Stalwart Esports. Mabatex have been eliminated. Stalwart Esports also do have 4 players. But right now, it all boils down to IHC versus STE. It is, of course, the Mongolian domination, and only one Mongolian team is going to come out true and tall right here from this fight. Along with that, look at Zeol with the flank angle that he got. It seems like he's been hurt quite a lot, but at the same time, an equal trade has been created as Tops from the side of STE also goes down. Demo from the side of IHC, thus bringing the numbers down in favor of STE, where Stalwart Esports have 3-man squad against IHC's players. But how exactly are they going to be able to play this out? Will there be a revival story for Tops from IC that could be converted, or is this going to be the end of IHC, where the nades coming in from all different directions are actually hampering the progress of IHC in terms of the way they want to be able to take this fight? But same is the case for IHC as well, as the amount of damage they've taken. Look at Alex, Zeol and Godless. Their health has gone down to almost 20%. This is the moment where, of course, STE could have capitalized, but sadly, they themselves are focusing on wanting to get the revival story complete for themselves.
Crucial and necessary revivals, but there is no time for that. IC is going to bring down LX from the side of IHC, and IHC, well, the numbers are not supporting their case. It's a 2v3 situation for the plus of IHC. In fact, it's a 2v4 situation, and Zoil with the Molotov takes down Nized over there. IC with a UV45 takes down Zoil. Now Godless with the DBS takes on IC, and this fight is getting more and more interesting as Godless with the DBS unstoppable, but now he has to be stopped, and IHC has been eliminated. Stalwart Esports has somehow survived the situation, but they have to go for the necessary revival onto IC, but there is no time as a grenade from the side of Raw officials will take Nized down. Now Stalwart Esports standing as 2-man squad. Raw officials showing on the doorstep. Multiple barrage of grenades coming in, but from that window angle, Tops is going to take down Kancha from the side of Raw officials. Now it's a 2v3 situation.
Well, make that a 1 player remaining from the side of SCE, a 1v3 situation, of course, where action all by his lonesome is going to be, of course, falling back, but at the same time, Raw officials are definitely not going to be allowing that, as 3-man army from the side of Raw officials are going to try and, of course, make this compound their own, but it seems action still has a lot to prove and a lot to say before he himself is going to get eliminated. In doing so, sadly, he tried his level best, was not able to get even a single more elimination point, as 3 players from Raw officials still are standing true and tall. With that, though, we're left with 3 teams remaining. Raw officials, we've got, of course, Zordi, Rex, as well as Claw. We've got a change in the name of Rex coming in, of course, from the side of this team of Raw. But alongside that, we've got East and Refuse from 4MV and TRZ, the 2 players who I was talking about who are going to be jumping in the water, maybe even creating some sort of an opportunity for themselves, maybe creating a backline story for a team that will be getting closer and closer to the chicken dinner. Well, now they themselves are getting closer to the chicken dinner, as now it all boils down to how 4MV are going to be taking these 2 teams all by their lonesome. Or could it actually be TRZ turning themselves into a little bit of a sandwich situation between Raw officials and 4 Miracle Vibes?
Well, the patience which the players of TRZ has showcased has resulted them or brought them into the top 3 position at this point. They're still surviving. 2 men. They do have a good compound to hold on to. But look at the armor of East. His armor has taken a lot of damage. So East needs to be a bit careful. At the same time, Refuse is a bit far away from East. So both these players from the side of 4MV, they have to approach this fight very cautiously on the other side. Talking about the other teams as well, but Stalwart Esports, well, phenomenal gameplay came from their side. Blotter, yes, they have been eliminated, but 11 finishers. But Raw officials, they have the numbers, and TRZ, Degree with his grenades, is trying to take down at least 1 player from the side of Raw officials, but that perfect projectile is still missing. And Mad Cat, he's left with 4 grenades, 3 Molotovs, enough resources in their hands to bring down the entirety or decimate the entirety of Raw officials if we can find the perfect projectile.
Well, and look at the zone. Zone making a lot of trouble for the players of Raw officials. They've got 3 individual vehicles. That's going to be their cover. But right now, the zone is 40 meters away from them. That means they are going to get into the crosshairs of the players of TRZ and 4MV. Where, of course, from one side, it's going to be Refuse. On the other compound, of course, we do have Mad Cat and Degree from TRZ patiently waiting. On their back angles, we have 4MV's final player, East, who's also, of course, waiting to pounce onto the opportunity. But for now, a little bit of a stalemate has been created. But never mind the stalemate, as it seems like East is going to be able to get the perfect angle right there, as TRZ's players have been dropped down to a one-man army. Degree did not anticipate that, and that opening has been capitalized from the side of Raw officials, but not before East teammate has something to say, as Refused from the flank angle has been able to convert that team of Raw officials into a one-man army. It's all going to be down to Zordi against Refuse, and right now, East with this perfect nade could very well decimate the possibility of TRZ, but it seems like the revival has been done. Mad Cat has been revived, and now it's going to be all down to the team of TRZ as to what can they do and deliver in this fight, because 4MV have done all they possibly could. Now it all boils down to TRZ, because Raw officials are down to just a one-man army.
And look at the position of Degree. He almost managed to took down Refuse. Refuse surviving on a sliver of HP. This grenade can be deadly if Degree lobs it to the perfection, but he is going to change his mind as East is showing at the doorstep, and Mad Cat along with his teammates is charging towards the side of East, and they know exactly where East is. This Molotov can be deadly for East, but somehow he's still surviving, and he takes down Degree over there, gets an instant confirmation. Now TRZ, they have been reduced to only one man. The numbers are in the favor of 4MV. 2 men still standing very strong, 10 defeat points in their favor. Now, can they get the winner chicken dinner also for themselves? Zordi is still hiding in that particular barn house. Mad Cat is still holding on to that warehouse. Is East along with his teammates, but look at the armor. East is having none, just a level 3 helmet, no vest at all. So East has to be very careful in a close frontal battle.
Well, this I'm loving. I mean, for one moment right there, 4MV's 2 players, East and Refuse, had their own individual fights that they had to deal with. They've dealt with it gracefully. Now they push on ahead towards, of course, the 2-man that are remaining from 2 individual teams. That's Zordi from one side from Raw officials. On the other side, of course, Mad Cat from the side of TRZ. Right now, it's an opening that Refuses wanting to, of course, pounce on upon from, and is Zordi ready? That is the main question right here. Is Zordi prepared and equipped to be able to, of course, damage that is going to be drawn and shown towards him? Will he be able to do anything? He's on the run, he's on the move, and this is the moment that, of course, TRZ's Mad Cat has also actually jumped into the compound. All the commotion that's been made from the players of 4MV has resulted in all of them now getting hunched up and bunched up together into this one single compound. But it's still anybody's game, because it is a 2v1v1 situation. In all of this, of course, Mad Cat has not yet participated in the fight. Same is the case for Zordi. The entirety of the commotion as well as the aggression is coming in from 4MV. As they do so, they're actually also losing out on their throwables. That is something that can be troublesome for them. But let's see how does this play out.
Let's see. This can be anybody's game. Like you pointed out, Mad Cat is not being part of the fight. He's being so very patient. He's letting the other 2 teams fight amongst each other so that he can get more placement points for himself and his team. Mad Cat with that M416, he has an idea where exactly the players, at least one player of 4MV can be, or at least the position of Zordi, but he comes out in the open, trying to take down the plus of 4MV, but East was hiding in the smoke and takes on TRZ Mad Cat, and with that, Refuse takes a jump and takes on Zordi as well from the side of Raw officials, and this duo of 4MV, they get a beautiful winner chicken dinner for themselves.
Indeed, they do so. Again, I mean, this has not been an easy chicken dinner for the side of 4MV, clearly indicating the fact that, the communication needs to be so on point. The skill definitely is going to be on par, but at the same point of time, the communication was the most critical one right there. From all of that gameplay, 22 points is what 4MV have been able to secure, and that will lead them to the overall ranking of number 1. Well, with that, we are done with the games that were supposed to be played on the map of Erangel. Now we've got 2 more games remaining that will be played on Miramar back-to-back, the 2 more games. But at the same point of time, talking about the way this one was played out, talking about how close it actually got between 4MV and getting it all away, taken away from them towards the players of Stalwart Esports as well as Raw officials. TRZ had an opportunity as well. But yeah, a chaotic but fun zone and final fight is what that was.
Well, certainly, the moment 4MV managed to take down the control from the hands of Elementrix of that very compound, the final circle was there. They had the zone, they had everything in their favor. It was just the numbers and the way the duo of the remaining two players of 4MV, Refuse and East, played in the situation. They didn't even have the armor, Blotter. The West has taken a lot of damage. They didn't have the perfect armor required in the required for a close frontal battle. Still, 4MV, just because of the communication and the synergy between the remaining two players, they managed to take down the players of TRZ, at the same time bring down the numbers of Raw officials as well. The angles which they were holding, especially East from that rooftop angle, he was able to get so much information onto the players of Raw officials that he managed to take down at least, I think, one player from Raw. Yes, he managed to take down one player from that rooftop angle.
Indeed, and that is where, of course, the entire thing changed across, because TRZ had two players. They were looking comfortable. They did not have a lot to worry about till the time East 922 jumped in with that perfect spray that he was able to get onto the opponent of TRZ. But at the same point of time, again, like I said, it could have been anybody's game. Though, MVP cannot be anybody's game, of course, because right now when it comes to the MVP, I'm sure it is going to be very, very close between the players of TRZ. Oh, well, Stalwart Esports and 4MV is where I think it would be. And it is going to be East this time around, actually. 922, East 922 from 4 Medical Vibes with 4 eliminations. 15, almost 1600 damage all by his lonesome. That is quite a game right there, with, of course, 28 minutes and 54 seconds that he was able to survive.
He was certainly dishing out a lot of damage over there. That is clearly showcased in the numbers. Yes, he was not able to convert all the damage into the elimination, but still a winner chicken dinner. A heavy fragging game came from the side of 4MV and 4MV. We were asking, where is 4MV? Actually, we were not asking 4MV where they are, because yes, the performance was there, but the dominating high fragging game that we wanted from the side of 4MV, finally they are delivering it.
Absolutely, they've started to do that in style as well, as they, of course, walk away with quite a lot of points right there, and that too with a two-man squad. You know, I mean, initially they had lost out on 2 of their players as they were making that rotation, but even with 2 players, they were able to stand out tall for quite a long time, and then, of course, get that chicken dinner in the bag as well, finding themselves on the top of the leaderboard once again. It is going to be very, very tough for the entire lobby to deal with the kind of commotion that 4MV plays within the game, and that is something that, of course, puts them in a really good contestation to maybe even be the champions itself. But again, it's too early to say anything right now. We're only in week 2. We've got one more week of league play before we jump into the finals, and that is where we can, of course, talk about the final champions of PMPL South Asia. But right now, as we move on along, of course, it is going to be the 4th game of the day that we'll be moving towards. That is going to be played on Miramar. There, a certain group will not be playing. We'll talk more about what teams from that group are not going to be playing. One thing is certain, that on the map of Miramar now, with so much of commotion, started off with Sanhok, moved on back to back with Erangel. I think now the teams are going to really slow the game down on Miramar.
Same, yes, initial first 3 circles, things are going to be so slow. Teams will try to play with the circle, be at the slow pace with the tempo. Yes, that could be the possibility, but the moment the 4th circle is going to form, I think the death and destruction that we always wait for, that is going to be showcased. The map of Miramar will be full of bloodbaths. So yes, till the 4th circle, it's going to be a slow game, because at the same time, teams do realize that you have to survive till the 4th circle. If in the 4th circle you do have a good position, this is going to be a good game for you. Same goes for the players of TRZ, because TRZ, they managed to survive. Even when the player IC from the side of Stalwart Esports, he was so close by to the players of TRZ, they didn't give any sound cue, and they survived that particular situation.
Absolutely did. But as we move on to the top players from the MVP, we've got, of course, Stalwart Esports as tops right there with 5 eliminations of his own, 1255 damage. Move on to another player coming in from 4MV as well. So a perfect game for 4MV. Same can, of course, be said for STE as well. But it all boils down to how many points did these teams walk away with? What was the match ranking looking like? We know who got the chicken dinner. That's going to be 4MV. But at the same point of time, what did the other teams fare like? Let's find out through the match ranking.
And in the match ranking, we have 4MV on the top with 22 points, 12 elimination. A very high fragging game came from the side of Stalwart from the side of 4MV. Even for the players of Stalwart Esports, yes, they were eliminated pretty early in the game, but they were raining death and destruction. They were fighting with tooth and nail. 11 elimination, a very high fragging game from the side of Stalwart Esports as well. But this time, T2K Esports, they were taken out pretty early in the game. 0 points to their name. Eliminatrix, despite having a good compound to their name, they were not able to defend it, because of which they were taken out at 15th spot with 0 points.
Absolutely, and hopefully as we progress on with the final 2 games that are remaining for the day, all of that should change. You know, I mean, teams getting eliminated from, again, there will always be teams that will be eliminated on the 16th position, on the 15th position, but if you are one of those teams, at least walk away with some decent amount of elimination points. Even if 1 or 2, that is still fair and square. But with that said and done, it is time to move on to the map of Miramar, where Group B this time around is not going to be participating. So that means TRZ, Stalwart Esports, Abrupt Slayers, as well as DEADEYES guys are not going to be jumping in to this game. But apart from that, all the other groups are here. So from those groups, pick a team, Shadow, that you think is getting this chicken.
Well, Stalwart and Abrupt Slayers both are sitting out in this one, so I think this can open things up for the players of definitely 4MV, but IHC and Leo Esports as well. So my pick is going to be, I think, Leo Esports.
All right, Leo Esports definitely today have been showcasing, signs of relief and revival coming in from their side. At the same point in time, will that be enough for them to get this game in the bag? That is a tough one to answer, but I'm sure they are going to be doing a really good job of it. But at the same point in time, when it comes down to the prediction of it, we will, of course, call it even. You want to pick Shadow, Leo Esports. From my side, as you move on towards Mongolia, I'm going to move on towards Nepal, and I'm going to go with SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. And let's see if they can get this one in the bag from this game. Let me just quickly confirm. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is playing this one, and they are, yes. So SG is going to be my pick for this first Miramar of the day.
You want a double chicken dinner from the side of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming?
Oh, yes. Exactly.
Okay, that is some comeback.
I tried this once earlier. It did not happen. So maybe today might be my lucky day. But let's find out. Let's find out where the flight path is going to be taking us, and where exactly are we to anticipate the first bloods that's going to be drawn from this fight. One thing that we've discussed earlier itself as well has been that the day has been accelerated very much when it comes to the fights that teams have taken. So perhaps when it comes to this game on Miramar, perhaps teams might want to take a slow pace into the game, but we'll find out in the next 2 minutes itself. It is going to be an entertaining one. It is going to be a chaotic one for sure. But talk to me, Shadow. Tell me one name or one team's name that you think has not been doing good, but from this game, you think there is a sign, or you think that there is still going to be an opportunity that they might be able to turn it around. I'll start off. I'll say Elementrix could be one.
Definitely, Elementrix in the map of Miramar always tend to perform really good. But the players of Maptex Esports, or maybe the players of High Voltage, yes, High Voltage has managed to get one chicken dinner for themselves. But other than that, the entire week, High Voltage was missing out. So there is a possibility of High Voltage showcasing a good performance. But DE and Maptex can also be the teams, because DE, in terms of the fights they are picking, not having a very good time. I'll be very honest. I expect
True.
bigger things from a team like DE, Maptex Esports. The way they have performed in week number 1, they ought to perform really good. They always go for the northern drop location, and this time again going towards the side of Torre Emuda and Kuz Del Valle. And in this circle, Maptex Esports ought to perform good.
They have to perform really good. That is what the entire final result of the game is going to be. But right now, as we look at the zone itself, it seems like first blood situation is going to be around the corner. Shots can be heard in the distance. Wonder what team is pouncing upon what team right now. There's, of course, Sitim along with the Illuminate crew right down there at Los Leones itself. The city of Los Leones is covered over by those two teams. And that's exactly where the first blood could be drawn from, because we've got Sitim close in proximity to Illuminate's Ram. Now, where exactly is Ram going to go? Sitim, we can see all the 3 and 4 players from the side of this team. But from Illuminate crew, Ram is the only player that I can see. So it seems like this is a fight that's already gone down the fate against him. But at the same time, perhaps this time that Sitim Esports is utilizing to get the loot for themselves could be the moment that Illuminate Crew's Ram could very well close in with his teammates. Let's see if that'll be allowed. Of course, QB on the push with his Karan and UMP in his hand. Though for now, they are, of course, taking it safe as well. They do not want to be overextending in this fight, which is definitely a good decision coming in from the side of Sitim, because Sitim, every single game is so very critical. We saw them at the start of the day sitting on the 14th or 15th position, something like that. And we want to be able to see Sitim Esports jump into the top 12 by the end of today itself, because of the way that they were able to showcase their gameplay in week 1. And since then, it has gone down. So that needs to change, especially on day 3 of week 2.
And I wonder, is it Ram or Ram? If anyone knows, please do let us know how to pronounce this guy's name. And the change in roster that is coming from the side of I8, I didn't expect this at all. Even the split that is coming from all the 4 players. Ram was all by himself. Nova X in the concrete is all by himself. He has no idea about the position of Soulless, and Soulless has a perfect weaponry in his hands to take down Nova X in this situation. The moment he comes out in the open, he's going to be a dead man. So Nova better be careful, and here he's going to come out in the open, and Soulless with Scarlet ready. That was bound to happen. The distance, the weaponry, everything is in the perfection. Nova X has been reduced to a sliver of HP. Now Soulless is going to resort to UMP 45. But Nova on the other side, how is he going to survive? Because this grenade, well, can be deadly for Nova X. He had a first hit in his hands. He has patched himself up. He's going to retaliate, and Soulless better be careful. But the question is, where is the cavalry? Where is the backup for both these individuals?
Well, Soulless with his Scarl, of course, is trying his level best to try and pincer down the position of Novax from the side of Illuminator. Novax himself, of course, was able to get that first aid right on time, and that in turn, of course, provided him with a sigh of relief, but it seems like it's just a little too soon, too late, as you have the player Soulless getting so very close, but once again, Novax with a sliver of HP survives. What luck for Illuminator's player right there, as it all seemed in favor of Soulless from the side of SKYLIGHTZ, but with just a nick of HP, the final player of Illuminator was able to survive, and that in turn has resulted in Novax getting a defeat point for himself and his team. And of course, for SKYLIGHTZ, that is the first team to take a knock and of course get one of their teammates sent back into the lobby. So SKYLIGHTZ down to a 3-man squad.
And this warning should be enough for the players of I8. Yes, Nova X was able to survive in that particular situation, but now I8, they need to regroup. They need to play as a unit. On the other side, we have the players of Leo Esports. Leo Esports is performing decent on this very day. Yes, they had a very high fragging one game. Right now, they have the entire city to their name. Good loot, good resources. That is all they are going to get. Good position as well. They have the very first circle in their favor. So Leo Esports are also looking pretty good in terms of the resources they are having in their hands. Even in the overall ranking also, at the start of the day, Leo Esports were placed on the 6th position with 59 points. Good gameplay was showcased on the very first day. Yes, day number 2, only one good game came from this particular team sides, but still Leo Esports, they do have a lot of capability, and looks like some team in the close proximity is taking heavy shots onto the players of Leo Esports. The vehicle has taken a lot of damage. At the same time, Haidami has been reduced to 40 HP, but now, well, I have to move inside the cover, but Astra X takes down Haidami, but instant trade comes in as Slipknot with that many tap shot takes down Astra X from the side of Elementrix.
That was real quick coming in from Slipknot right there. And that in turn, of course, has put a little bit of a stop on the over-aggressiveness that was being showcased from the side of Elementrix players. Though again, it's too early to say anything because Leo Esports, they're still going to be in the crosses if they stick around in this area for too long. For Elementrix, they've got the perfect position on top of that high ground mountain. But for now, as Leo Esports' players slowly get their loot and then try and regroup, and once they've regrouped, perhaps they will fall back from this area. That would be the best move from them, and that's exactly what they're working towards. We can clearly see how they park the vehicle right behind the apartment as well, right behind the compound, so that it does not take any damage from Elementrix. But Mr. Smokey, he's left all by his lonesome, apparently because he's got his own vehicle. So good outing coming in from Leo Esports right now. Same can be said from Elementrix because they were able to get a really good spot on top of that high ground. Sadly, though, have not been able to confirm a knock and elimination for themselves just yet. But based on how the zone is, Elementrix are looking pretty good. Let's see though, in another 20 to 30 seconds, it is going to be making a shift. And with that, Leo Esports are also going to be jumping into the opportunity of taking on that high ground away from the players of from the players of Elementrix themselves. So Leo Esports, they are on the move. They are on the hunt. They do not want to have people spraying on them. And just like that, three of them, 3v2 situation right here, being sprayed on across, where from the backlines, Mrs. Smokey is also going to be jumping into this fight. Entry frag. He falls out of the compound. He's waiting, but look at Hyde Dummy along with, of course, Liquid and Slipknot. Oh, Liquid with a sliver of HP is going to be surviving, but that perfect nade is going to be the end of Elementrix's player. And just like that, the two players, of course, Entry Frag and Astra, are going to get eliminated right here. They, I'm sure, are not going to be happy that they tried to spray down the players of Leo Esports. And Leo Esports, what a different play that is being created right here from the side of this team. I mean, they took it to their heart. How dare you bring us down and mow us down from that mountain? We're going to be, of course, bringing it to your face, and that's exactly what they did. In a matter of seconds, obliterated the possibility of those two players of Elementrix to hold their high ground for long, which, of course, means Leo Esports walk away with 2 defeat points. But sadly, for the players of Elementrix, they're down to a two-man squad.
And they were coming for the revival or the help of the two players. In the mini map, I saw the remaining two players coming in, chiming in. But the moment they realized there is nothing they can do, the confirmation has been made. Now they're again going back to the safety. And maybe we'll try and play for the placement points and try and survive till the final few circles. On the other side, we'll see Esports Rogue is going for the airdrop loot. Well, level 3s are going to come very handy in the map of Miramar. But talking about the circle, T2K, well, they also do have a good position, but they have to take fight with all the teams that are coming from the northern side. On the other side, towards the southern front, we have the players of 4MV in a very good spot. The backlines are clear. Sitim also coming from the city of Los Leones. They do have a good position to hold on to. On the eastern front, we have the players of IHC towards the side of Junkyard. Well, IHC is also holding on to good ground for themselves. Now it all boils down to where the next circle is going to be. T2K, Maptex, Leo Esports, DRS, they have to engage in multiple fights.
Absolutely. This is not going to be an easy game to convert into a chicken dinner, that's for sure, because the zone has provided with all these individual teams with so much opportunity to have a good game for themselves. From the western flank, it was IHC. From the eastern side, we can see SG jumping in. But right now on our streams, we've got T2K taking shots against Wally from the side of Mavitex as he gets eliminated. Wally is now done and dusted. That means Mavitex are down to a 3-man squad. For T2K, though, this is just the start. We'll have to see. From Mavitex, Leo OP, we can see the flank that he's created. Will that be enough to put a dent to the players of T2K and the positioning and the momentum with which T2K are playing? Because Mavitex Esports, again, if they play their cards right, this team deserves to get a chicken dinner. Now, notice I say deserve because they're able to make those rotations, but when it comes to the fight itself, that is sometimes it goes in Mavitex's favor, sometimes it just does not work out right. And because of that reason, Mavitex are not able to get a perfect chicken dinner win a game. But hey, who's to say anybody's stopping them? This could be their moment. This could be the game where they convert it for themselves. And look at that. NB Esports against the players of Bad Intentions, taking shots against each other. NB Esports are getting hurt as they've got one of their players knocked. But at the same point in time, for Bad Intentions, they are left with just a one-man army, one-man squad as the second player is dropped down. He has been knocked, but can there be a revival? Right here, we've got Dylan. In the blues in the minimap, you can see the other player of Bad Intention, teammate of Dylan, is running away from the possibility and opportunity because NB Esports have been able to pounce on and just like that have gotten 3 defeat points without taking a single drop of their own.
I believe Bad Intention were going for the rotation when the players of NB Esports picked them up and they lost 3 of their own players. Now the last player is trying to survive and transition himself inside the circle, but without coming into the process of the players. Leo Esports, I don't know how they're going to do so, but right now we have the players of High Voltage and SKYLIGHTZ Gaming going up against each other, with Assassin from that window is trying to take down one player, but looks like his teammate Praveen is going to eliminate Mafia Ninja, and Malik will get the confirmation as well. So SKYLIGHTZ this time also not a very good start, as they lost two of their own players, now surviving on with the remaining two players, but High Voltage, well, one defeat point already in their favor. But this time it looks like Leo Esports, they are running high on their horses, and NB Esports as well, because they have got three eliminations for themselves. Both these teams are looking so very confident, but like I said, Leo Esports, they have to engage in so many fights because of the position they are in towards the northern side, from where majority of the rotations are coming in. So they have to be very patient. If they make unnecessary noise, Leo Esports can come into the crosshairs of so many teams. On the other side, High Voltage in close proximity to the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming and Elementrix as well. From the backlines, we can see the players of Maptex also going for the rotations.
Indeed. For now, let's see how exactly is that position for Elementrix and SG going to play out against the four-man army of High Voltage. But moving away from there, towards Minas Generales, we've got the players of T2K against the compound. And look at the flank that's been created. The cover fire coming in from Sandesh, and right in front is going to be Suyog. On the backlines, of course, we do have T2K Jane as well. That is what is so perfect about T2K, the way they're able to position themselves before a fight. And of course, the communication that is most important. But right now, with that perfect position in T2K, Rig has been able to, of course, obliterate Raw Officials player. That would mean Raw Officials is down to a 3-man squad as well in this fight against the 4-man army of T2K. Raw Officials are being put into a corner, basically, because they are falling back. Suyog, Sandesh, Rig, Jane, they're being very, very subtle, very, very quiet, not giving away any information, not being too over-aggressive as well. Because they want to be certain. They want to be certain before they take on these shots and the game for themselves. At the same time, we've got DRS locking horns against the players of Leo Esports. As Leo Esports were making a rotation, they seem to be caught in the crosshairs of the real soldiers, whereas DRS themselves are in the crosshairs of Raw Officials. So an interesting triangle being created right here in between these three teams. From one side is T2K, in sandwich position is Raw Officials, in front of them of course is DRS.
So certainly DRS, Raw Officials, talking about this particular team also, they also lost one player in the initial stage of the game, and the way they are making a rotation is a single vehicle in the map of Miramar. It's not looking good at all. Few bullets were peppered in their direction, but they have survived. The vehicle is still surviving, and if they come into the crosshairs of multiple players or multiple teams, well, this could be the demise for the players of Raw Officials. So they have to be very careful. The compound is already here. They can try and hold on to it, but look at the hills around this compound. It is in the close proximity. We have the players of Maptex Esports, so Raw Officials, not a very good compound to hold on to, but on the other side of the map, we have Bad Intention getting eliminated as 16th position, but DRS cleared by TT, the MVP of the previous Erangel. Well, he has managed to take down one player from the side of Leo Esports, but the confirmation has not been made yet. But Maptex Esports are going up against the players of Raw Officials, and Maptex, do they have the numbers? Because I see only 2 players in this compound. Okay, never mind. All the 3 players are there. It's a 3v3 situation. Grenades are being lobbed from the side of Raw Officials, but no, not yet.
From Maptex, let's see. Maptex again, they pounced on to this opportunity as soon as they heard the commotion coming in from Raw Officials' vehicle. Now, the best part in this fight for Maptex is that they are in the safety net of the compound, whereas for Raw Officials, they don't really have a lot of compound to work with per se. So that could be trouble for them. But again, right now they're just trying to survive, as they know that they are surrounded. On the other side of the map, High Voltage taking shots against the players of NB Esports, and DRS are also chiming into the fray. So a lot of teams and a lot of commotion being taken place right here on the map of Miramar in stage 4, as T2K's position and compound is now being pushed from the backlines against the players of IHC. A 4v3 situation is what this is turning out to be, because the 4th player from the side of T2K, I believe, is up on top for the cover, and there we have Suyog in the backlines for the cover. But IHC all by their lonesome, are they going to be jumping in without a single Molotov or a nade? Is that what the planning is? Nope, they definitely bring in those nades, and that's definitely going to be giving quite a lot of damage to the players of T2K, where Rig has taken almost 40% of his health down. Same, of course, for Sandesh, as he's already knocked him down. He needs to be given that revival. But right now, what a perfect EQ play from the side of T2K, as Jane, being on top, has been able to bring down not one but two players. Alex and Godless go down. Now it's all boiling down to IHC Zeol. Can he bring that Molotov? Can he use that nade to perfection? And before he does, can T2K Jane do something? Because T2K Jane has been able to, of course, all by himself, stop IHC in their tracks. But now these few seconds that has been provided to Zeol, he's going to get that first fade. And that first aid will help him. But now, again, the numbers have gone down against the players of IHC. Zeol also having to deal with, of course, the Blues. Does not have a lot that he can do. It's a 1v3 situation. Make that 1v2 actually. Rig and Suyog are going to be the ones who are going to be putting a full stop to IHC's domination in this compound. And just like that, IHC get eliminated with 2 eliminations of their own. That is all they're able to get as they get eliminated on the 15th position. So no placement points to be awarded to them. But for T2K, the game is just getting warmed up with 6 defeat points. The zone almost on top of their heads. Now this is the moment where, of course, you share the spoils of the battle and then you move on ahead to fight another one.
But T2K, everything is still not so very good for them, because I can see in the mini maps few of the teams in the close proximity. So T2K, while transitioning themselves inside the server, they have to be very careful from the players of DRS. At the same time, Venom DE, who are a bit ahead of T2K Esports inside the circle. So T2K Esports, the rotations are definitely coming in. They have to make sure all the 3 players survive till the very end of the game if they want to go for the winner chicken dinner. On the other side, I8, where all the 4 players are still inside the lobby. They do have a good position to hold on to towards the southern side, but the way 4MV is in the close proximity, sooner or later maybe 4MV will try and contest that very position. But right now, Leo Esports, after a very good run, they have been eliminated from the lobby, and DRS, well, they are also in the crosshairs. So many team Delta takes down the confirmation point of Orangey over there, and Element Tricks, they have been reduced to only 1 single player. DRS, they have to go for the revival onto Gyante over there. 11 teams, 37 plus still remaining. DRS is looking to take the control from northern front, but out there in the open is not the best position, and Krita is going to capitalize as he takes on 1 player of DRS, at the same time raining death and destruction onto the players of T2K as well. With that, T2K, well, they have been eliminated. DE Venom having the numbers advantage, but Relay from the far off distance, Delta takes him down.
Indeed, for now, a lot of damage has been created and provided to the players of Venom DE, but same can be the case and said story for the side of DRS as well, because they are out in the open. That is something that is going against them. They're taking on shots, they've got a lot of information, but being out in the open is what troubled them the most. But right now, after having gotten that revival, it seems like now they've gotten close to the mountain, and of course the position that Venom DE find themselves in. But Venom DE, is this going to be it? Because they've taken fights on multiple fronts. From one side, they've got Seal Esports to deal with. From the other side, they've got, of course, the players of DRS jumping onto the possibility of taking the mountain by a storm from the players of Venom DE. But look at Domi. He's just going to be jumping in. He's going to be pushing on ahead all by his lonesome, with, of course, DRS taking not 1 but 2 of their players down. This is their revival moment, and Delta is going to be in the backlines. That means it all boils on to Rules, or is it Gyante, I believe, who's going to have to, of course, get this revival on his teammates. Before that takes place, will Domi's nade do something? Sadly, for now, it is not going to be able to do much. Venom DE, they were in a very good position right there, but now with quite a lot of fights that they've taken on, Domi, along with his teammate, are the only 2 players surviving on this mountain. And of course, from the backlines, they've got Seal, Suncheer to worry about. And in front, we also had another team that we do see Venom DE being a little troubled by. But overall, though, Venom DE have kind of played this position to perfection, but DRS, with the numbers advantage, can maybe steal this away from them.
But with the circle going away from them, DRS, well, they have to worry about a lot of things, and Domi just survived that vehicle run over from the players of DRS Gaming. But Gyante has been taken down, and Rose is going to take down Domi with that vehicle run over, and now DE Venom is surviving with only single last remaining player. Rose has taken a lot of damage. Domi confirmation point has already been taken by Delta over there. And now Ryuk, for how long can he survive? The bait game that is coming from inside of Rolls is going to bite him in the back, and the vehicle explodes. But with the VMP45, he has been taken down. Confirmation point already there. Now DRS, enough damage has been done towards their side as well.
Indeed, when it comes to the throwables, of course, Ryuk right now from the side of Venom DE does not really have much to work with. He's only got one first aid that he's going to be able to utilize. Along with that, of course, the bandages are going to be able to help his cause for a few more minutes. With that smoke, he's going to be jumping in towards the vehicle perhaps, or not the vehicle, but definitely on top of the mountain to get the height advantage in his favor. But sadly, again, with a 2v1 situation, both the angles being covered from the side of DRS's players, Delta and Killer YT, there was no way that final player from Venom DE, Ryuk, could do much. But moving away from that fight, we are left with 8 teams remaining. Venom Esports against the players of High Voltage. High Voltage with the 4-man squad. Once again, a perfect utilization of the position that they're in. Jumping in from the western side of the zone. But QB, that was a tough luck right there as he jumped in to the zone. Sadly, his vehicle just took a somersault, and that in turn gave him a little bit of damage. But right now, Seal Sanchir, the man who was in the back lines all by his lonesome, a one-man army, has been able to bring in mayhem and destruction against the momentum-based team of the real soldiers as DRS get eliminated right here, all thanks to Seal Sanchir in the back lines that we saw from him, where Venom DE were also very cautious of Sanchir being on top over there. Sharing that mountain is something Venom DE were not too happy about, but with that, now we're left with only 7 teams, and High Voltage with the 4 players already have the position and the advantage against the players of Venom Esports.
Well, certainly 2 defeat points to the players of High Voltage, but I8, they were so very patient up until now. But Nova X is taking down the players of Venom Esports, and he has managed to take down 2 players, looking for the confirmation as well. But High Voltage Praveen is going to take down Ram from the side of I8. Now I8, they have to worry about 2 teams, Venom Esports at the same time High Voltage as well. But Jiggle is going to get the confirmation onto QB as well. Nova X is still bleeding out. His teammate is going for the rescue mission, so it's going to be an easy one. But Sky, look at his position. He's so close to the player Praveen, and Praveen knows exactly where Sky is. This grenade can be deadly for Sky if he lobs it to perfection, but somehow the perfect projectile was missing, and Sky is still surviving. Praveen, he has to patch himself up. He's left with only 1 grenade and 1 Molotov. The smokes are down to provide the necessary cover for Praveen. But is it enough as a High Voltage? They're picking fight with not just 1, 2 teams right now.
Well, in all of this, though, Mabatex, they've got a really good control of the zone. With that, Venom Esports, Desert X, the final player once again. This time around, not going to be allowed to survive for long, gets eliminated on the 7th position, the entirety of the team. Remaining 6 teams, 19 players. High Voltage, like you were mentioning, taking on fights, they have to because they are in a really good advantageous position. But at the same point of time, they need to be very, very careful as to the angles they end up choosing to peak. Right now, Sanchir, again, he was being the MVP for quite some time from the side of Seal Esports, has been dropped down from the side of East thanks to 4 Medical Vibes controlled play. They're also part of this entire fray, as now they're going to be bouncing on to the players of Seal Esports, where Seal Esports' Becca is the only one final player remaining. Apex is going to be able to get that revival from 4MV. And from the western zone, from western side of the zone, 4MV jumping ahead. But we've got 3 teams in this entirety who have all 4 players surviving. We've got the players of High Voltage, same is the case for Illuminate True, as well as 4MV. Then comes in Mabatex with a 3-man army, followed by Raw Officials with a 2-man squad, and CD Sports, Becca, the 1-man, who's finally remaining. But like we saw earlier, CD Sports' Sanchir, he was able to bring in so much of mayhem and chaos earlier. Can Becca do the same?
Can he just all by himself is the main question. But 4MV, with the numbers advantage, they are picking multiple fights. They do know where exactly the players of Mabatex Esports are. At the same time, they do know where the players of I8 is, and Woof is out there in the open. East is trying to take him down, but not the great shots are being landed. On the other side, High Voltage, they are on the verge of elimination. In fact, they have been eliminated. All kudos to the players of I8. Woof has now been taken down by the players of 4MV, and Sky is also down. That means I8, they are just with a single person. It is a very crucial revival. On the other side, we have Seal Baker taking down the players of Mabatex Esports. 4MV going for the rotation onto the, not the rotation, charging in towards the compounds of I8. They know it's only 1 player. This is the moment they have to charge in. Wufis is still bleeding out. Ram not having enough HP on his hands. I think he's just having bandages to work around with, or maybe not even the bandages. And a 1v4 situation is way too much, especially when you are down to 10 HP. And with that, I8 Esports, after a very good run with 7 elimination, have been eliminated at 5th spot.
Indeed, with 4 teams remaining, this game has to, of course, medical vibes. There's no two ways about it. All 4 players surviving against the lobby, where, of course, you've got the players of Raw officials who are a 2-man squad. Mavitex's Leo OP has already spotted down Rexall from the side of Raw, which means that Rexall does not have much room to work with right there, and that in turn has resulted in, of course, Raw officials down to a 1-man squad as well. Now, Abrupt Esports, they are a 2-man army, Leo OP along with his teammate Baron. But are they going to be able to do much? SKYLIGHTZ get eliminated as well in all of this. This game, like I was saying, 4MV with the height advantage going in their favor, being on top of the mountain. It is just their game to lose right now. There is absolutely no way that Mavitex could do anything. Same for Raw officials as well, because they've got no room to wiggle about to take on 4 Miracle Vibes, as well as the numbers that are clearly in favor of 4MV. Therefore, the winner chicken dinner prediction is also going in with 62.96%, almost at 70% is where it was at for 4MV just a minute ago. But right now, we'll have to see if at all Abrupt Esports, Leo OP and Baron, can they do something to steal away this opportunity from 4MV. Doc from one side, East from the center, Refuse along with his teammate from up top. I mean, the communication being so critical, the way that this team of 4MV is pushing onto the compound from all different angles. The entire valley is being surrounded from 4 Miracle Vibes. Apex, Refuse, Doc, East, they are just legends in terms of the way that they've been able to do this. But before they go down, Maverick's Leo OP can maybe get one more elimination point for himself. They're sitting at 2. Can it be 3? Nope is the answer. But nevertheless, 4MV walk away with a pristine chicken dinner for themselves. They worked hard for it, and they definitely took it by a storm, as we saw them in the end. Communication was on point. The way they were able to make those rotations as well was so very important. Again, I mean, it was a SWAT team jumping into action. That is what we saw from the side of this team.
Well, certainly you wanted to see 2 chicken dinners coming on this day number 3, and 4MV back-to-back 2 chicken dinners come from this particular team. 11 eliminations, 17 damage, and now they're sitting on the top spot in the overall ranking.
Indeed. And we are back, of course, right here at PMPL South Asia, where we are part of week 2, day number 3 upon us, the intermission day, the middle ground where teams are going to be making a comeback and a revival. And for that, 4MV has taken that objective perfectly because of the way they've been able to accumulate the points till now. And we are still left with one more game remaining, Shadow.
Well, certainly one more game remaining, but 4MV, well, they are sitting out in the very last game of Miramar. But we were talking about Abrupt Esports at the start of the game, that they ought to perform in this one because of the circle of the position. They always go for the drop location in somewhere towards the northern side, and Abrupt Esports, they definitely delivered a very good performance in this one. But kudos to 4MV, the aggression they are bringing in. Yes, first 2 days that aggression was missing, but third day 4MV are again back in the form, and like you said, every single time anyone tries to compete with 4MV, they come in much stronger. And this time again, East is the guy being the MVP with 5 eliminations, 639 damage, 2 assists, 3 knocks, and 243 healings done. Fantastic performance from this guy as well.
Absolutely. I mean, 4 Miracle Vibes, East is a legend in terms of the way he's able to, read situations and convert that into his team's advantage. That is something that I'm sure 4MV's players are going to be very proud of the fact as well. And to have him in the team as a teammate, it is most certainly a really good showcase of skill from East. But with that, let's move on ahead and find out the top players list, wherein we will talk about the other players in the lobby who do have the skill to showcase as well. As we've got Stalwart Esports' Sanhok. Again, he was in the feed quite a lot of times, and I had noticed it time and time again that Sanhok was the man of the hour who had dropped down Venom DE and then pushed on ahead with a nade, also dropped down another team. A perfect conversion from his side for his team. And then we move on to 4MV once again, where Refuse, along with his teammate East, is also going to be part of top players list.
In the match summary also, it is all about East with the highest elimination, highest damage, but highest assists are coming from the side of Delta of DRS. Highest healings done is from Haitami of Leo Esports, 316 healings done. Leo Esports, they were also having a very good run. It was a high fragging game for them, but not too many placement points.
Absolutely. As we move on ahead from the match summary itself towards the final game that once again will be played on the map of Miramar. And as Shadow was mentioning earlier as well, the few teams that are not going to be playing this time around on the final game of the day are going to be from Group A. And that Group A, we do have 4MV playing from there. So 4MV, they're done for today. Of course, they've had a really exhilarating ride today and showcased it to us, as well as they climbed up to be the leaders of the overall ranking with that from this game. 11 elimination points, 21 in total. Illuminate True come in second over there with 7 eliminations of their own, but only 3 placement points. So that of course implies that Mavitex Esports was the team in the battleground that finished second, and therefore the 6 placement points, but getting only 2 elimination points has resulted in them sitting at a much lower spot. But in all of this, Bad Intentions, Elementrix, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, even Sidam Esports for that matter, actually, these teams, they have one good day, one good game, and that's pretty much it. And then the rest of the games, they're not able to hype themselves up to the occasion. Well, that needs to change, especially for the likes of Bad Intentions. For Sidam Esports as well, it's not going too well. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is showcasing some signs of revival from themselves today, so looking A-okay. But for Elementrix also, I mean, they've had that one good game, one perfect day. Move on to today, things are going haywire, and that of course is going to affect them in the overall ranking. As we're talking about it, let's bring it up on the screen.
In the overall ranking, 4MV, well, they are sitting at the top with 115 points. At the start of the day, they were somewhere on the 5th or the 6th spot. Now they are sitting on the top with 115 points. Stalwart Esports, they still have one more game to go, sitting on the 2nd spot with 113 points. Maybe they can again reclaim that top spot in the overall ranking. DRS Gaming, fantastic consistency coming from their side. 2 Chicken Dinners sitting on the 3rd spot with 92 points. T2K previous game, they got good high fragging game, but 0 placement points. This time on the 4th spot with 92 points in the overall ranking. But the team on the bottom is going to be Bad Intention, Elementrix Esports, TRZ, Sidam Esports, Abrupt Slayers. I'm shocked by the performance of Abrupt Slayers, because week number 1, Abrupt Slayers were playing so consistent.
Yeah, which started out from day 3 onwards, and week 1 is the storyline that Abrupt Slayers started off on day 3 onwards. Week 2, the storyline is they have not yet been able to do so on day 3 itself, with the final game remaining. At the same point of time, for Bad Intentions, things are just getting worse and worse. Elementrix Esports, again, I mean, yesterday they showcased a decent performance. Today, it's questionable in terms of what exactly have they understood and how exactly are they planning on changing that and apply that in their own playstyle. So it is going to be a difficult one. And actually, of course, you know where we're leading towards. It is time to, of course, talk about the prediction now. And the final game, that means Group A is not going to be participating. So we've got no Stalwart, I believe. No, my apologies. No 4 Miracle Vibes. Train to Kill is not there. Venom DEADEYES are not there. As well as Bad Intentions are not going to be playing. So Group B, C, D, and E. These are the ones that are going to be playing and participating. But from them all, for the map of Miramar, where would you like to see, or which team would you like to see get a chicken dinner?
I can get this one, but I'll go with Stalwart Esports. I'm very sure they are trying to reclaim that throne at the top in the overall ranking, so Stalwart Esports this time would be.
Alright, Stalwart Esports coming in from your side. I was actually stuck between 2 teams. Leo Esports, who kind of doing really good. Mavitex Esports, another team that deserves to get a chicken dinner. But which way will it be? Because Stalwart Esports, they're looking comfortable. They're 2 points shy. They are going to be able to jump on to the top of the totem pole by the end of the day. So for today, for this final game, I'm going to be going with the likes of High Voltage.
Interesting pick, high voltage, because high voltage in the map of Sanhok, they were able to bring the aggression. But talking about the schedule, the first game was a high voltage game. The map of Sanhok, Erangel belonged to SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. Then 4MV in the second Erangel got a chicken dinner. Again, one more chicken dinner from the side of 4MV in the map of Miramar. Now we are down to the last Miramar, where Group A is sitting out. And like Blotter mentioned, 4MV, Train to Kill, Venom DEADEYES, Bad Intention, they are sitting out in this particular one. And talking about the groups of Blotter, I think the entire Group E is having the inconsistent performance. Yes, Leo Esports, they are able to perform, but other than Leo Esports, I don't see any other team in Group E who are able to perform a good performance.
I would agree with that. I will definitely second that, of course, because when it comes to the way that fifth group, my apologies, Group E is playing, the Leo Esports, another one that just kind of barely getting there, right? Apart from that, when it comes down to the other teams in the group, IHC being another one that we expected that they would be really doing good, they would be doing flawless and incredible in week 2, has not been able to rise up to the occasion. But yep, with that, of course, we saw our final predictions, high voltage, please make it so. But at the same point of time, of course, it is going to be tough because they started the day off on Sanhok, got a chicken dinner. But you know what would be worse? The irony of it all, Shadow, would be if SKYLIGHTZ Gaming this game get a second chicken dinner for the day.
That is a very big possibility. In fact, I was thinking, because SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, the previous game which they played of Erangel, they got a winner chicken dinner for themselves. And the way they have worked on their mistakes, I think SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is looking very confident on day number 3. So there is a very big possibility of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming again getting a second chicken dinner for themselves. Even the plus of Maptex Esports can also try and do so, because last Miramar, they missed it just by an inch. So it all comes down to the circle as well, where the first circle is going to be and where the final circle is going to be, because the circle itself decides so many things for the teams. So if the circle is favoring the situation of SKYLIGHTZ and Maptex, I think they can definitely perform really good.
Indeed. But that is something we'll have to wait to find out as to where exactly is the zone going to be dictating this game and its fights. For now, as we have towards the northern side, towards Torre Muda, Mabatex. Down south from them is going to be DEADEYES, guys, and in close proximity, well, not really close proximity, never mind, is going to be SKYLIGHTZ Gaming as well. But the zone is going to be pretty much in the center. A very centric, generalized circle is what we're seeing right here on the final game of Miramar for PMPL South Asia. Where is the first blood going to be drawn at? There are so many colors that are still making a rotation towards the western side of the zone as well as the map right now. Towards the north of the zone, we've got SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, but right at the edge of the northern side, we've got NB Esports. And in close proximity to them, we've got STE as well. But moving away from all of that towards Los Leones itself is going to be, once again, the two teams of Venom Esports and Illuminate Crew. Now, it is pretty much of a deja vu situation between these two teams every single time they move on to the map of Miramar. But who will get the first knock? Right now, it is a 2v1 situation. As we've got, of course, one final player, Jiro, from Sitim, waiting out here. At the same point in time, on the other side of this compound itself, his teammate is going to be providing that sort of a cover fire. As of now, though, very, very hard situation for Jiro to face. He does have 2 smoke with the level 1 vest, but that's all he's got. From the backlines, of course, we can see of Dobu, his teammate. Sky is in the same building. And Sky is on the lookout to try and find where that player is, where Dobu is. So this is a tricky stalemate situation that these teams have now found themselves in. Only a matter of minutes before one of them finds an opening.
Drop collisions. Seems like I8 is a team that loves having these drop locations and the initial fights. In the map of Sanhok, they always share the drop location with the plus of NB Esports and they engage in an initial fight. In the map of Miramar in Los Leones, they share the drop location with Sitim Esports, and majority of the time I8 Esports tend to win these initial drop locations, drop collisions. So I8 is definitely one of the team that loves the drama, the action at the very start of the game. So But looking at the resources they're having in their hands right now, few of the players are not having enough armor in their hands. Yes, the weaponry is there. Sky is having the DPS, the AKM required. Even on the other side, for the plus of SITM as well, they don't have the best weaponry in their hands, best resources in their hands. So they have to approach this fight very cautiously, because every single grenade or the first aid is very crucial for them. At the same time, Sky, well, he knows exactly where Jiro is from the side of Sitem Esports. We know Desert is, but one guy from the side of Sitem Esports is way too far away. He can bring that cheeky angle onto the plus of I8 and create an opening. Maybe that is exactly what the plus of Sitem Esports are waiting for, because the way he's going for the flank angle, well, I8 better be careful.
Well, Dobu has been dropped down finally. The opening that Illuminate True were waiting for has been provided right now. Jiro was all left out by himself. There was no way to get onto his roof. Of course, all the angle was covered on from Jiro. But with that AKM utilization right there coming in as I8 Sky, going to be dropping Siddham's Jiro as well. Crazy conversion right there, where of course Siddham, right off the bat in the game itself, are dropped down to a two-man squad. Desert X is going to be jumping into this opportunity to maybe try and... Oh, hold on. QB has a perfect angle right here. He's going to be able to drop down the other player as well. As with that, Illuminator are going to be left down to just a two-man squad. Novex from the backlines. Can he spot out QB? Not before QB vanishes from the equation altogether itself. And now Novex could very well be the one who could be damaged in this entire fight, because it is going to be QB along with Desert X who are jumping on and pouncing on to this valiant effort that Illuminate Sky did. It's all gone down the drain because of the way Sitem Esports' players jumped into the arena, and of course Desert X, but he was just patiently but eagerly waiting for Illuminate Crew's players to showcase their body and their heads, and just like that, of course, he was able to capitalize. And Novex, wait, what? How was Novex not able to get even a sliver of damage from that nade that dropped right next to him? Never mind that, as we can see in the kill feed, we've got DEADEYES taking shots against the players of CL Esports as well. So the fights have started brewing over in this entire Erangel, or my apologies, Miramar game. But between these two teams, it is a 2v2 affair. Illuminate True are down to a two-man squad. Same, of course, is the case for their opponents as well. But who will reign in supreme? Will it be Illuminate True, or hold on, will it be Sitem? Because hold on, Sitem have been able to actually get that third man revived. So they will be a three-man army. That means a 3v3 situation. Desert X QB along with Jiro are going to be part of this fight, where Ram along with, of course, Novex are now on the move, are now on the run. Illuminate True, this is not the kind of play they anticipated from themselves as they took on the initial fight against the players of Sitem. But now a 2v1 situation against Ram right now. He's got the DPS in his hand, but will that be able to do much? Desert X, of course, he knows with the sound that's going on, popping across his head, he knows there's a DPS waiting for him, but with the micros in his hand, he jumps on along, times it perfectly. Does not allow Ram to be able to get that reload. And in doing so, Illuminate Crew down to one-man squad. That's all that they've got. But Sitem, what a perfect play that was. Duwu, they lost. That was sad, but that loss right there created the opening for them to, of course, convert it into 3 defeat points. Perhaps make it 4, as they're now on the hunt against Novex as well. As Desert X pretty much knows where he's at. With the DBS in his hand, it seems like they were almost able to spot him out. Novex going to be at the edge, looking like a Spider-Man, but not going to be able to do much because the DBS action is just going to be the Desert X story, because he gets the defeat point. He eliminates the entirety of Illuminate True as well, along with, of course, his teammates Jiro and QB. So I guess it is clear Illuminate True should move away from Lost Newness when it comes to the map of Miramar, and perhaps move away from Paradise Resort when it comes to the map of Sanhok, because on Sanhok it's NB Esports they lock horns against, and on Miramar it is Lost Newness against the players of Sitem Esports.
Agreed. I think I spoke way too soon that I had always wins those initial combats, initial drop collisions. But right now, Sitim Esports also need to be a bit cautious. And TRZ is also moving from the southern side, but the curveball that the circle has thrown, leaving Leo Esports right at the epicenter of the circle. So that means Leo Esports, this can be the gameplay. At the same time, Abrupt Slayers have to be very cautious because raw officials, they are in the close proximity, and majority of the rotations might come in from the northern front, where the players of high voltage, Elementrix from the backline, Stalwart Esports are also making the rotation. So many fights are going to happen on the northern front. Then we have the players in the blue that are going to be NB Esports, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, approaching the game very cautiously, very safely. Late rotations coming in from their side, but TRC from the southern side showcasing good rotations again in the circle. They're not going to face any kind of resistance from any of the teams, but Abrupt Slayers and raw officials are so very close to each other, Plotter.
Absolutely. But looking at the late rotation coming in from SG and NB Esports, for now they're all 4-man squad, both those teams. But I wonder if that's going to survive for long, because both of them seem to be making a rotation through Montenueno. But let's see what NB Esports decide, because Mondo is the one who's leading the charge. Though walking away from that situation, the late rotating teams, to the teams who are right now in the zone itself, we've got the players of IHC against the players of Mabitex. Mabitex Leo OP has gone down. It is all thanks to the nade. Along with that, Ziol from the backlines from IHC is going to be able to drop down and steal the kill away from Demo. But nevertheless, of course, it is IHC who get the entire defeat point for themselves. The entirety of the team do get it. But almost about 1,500 meters away, IHC, they've got a long rotation to make to get into the zone. They've only got 2 defeat points. They stuck around the edges for a bit too long, and you can clearly see the IHC that we knew has changed its playstyle, which in turn I'm sure the fans are not going to be too elated about, but at the same time it's working out decently for them, because in the end what matters is being a part of the finals, being a part of the bonus games, and that is something that IHC end up doing every single time.
Well, certainly they will end up in the bonus match. The consistency is there from their side in few of the games. IHC tend to perform really bad, and this game, yes, they are few thousand meters away from the circle, 1,500 like you pointed out, but the circle has shown a curveball, and IHC, well, they have to approach this circle very cautiously, because I remember DRS, Maptex Esports, Seal Esports, they were in the close proximity to the plus of IHC Esports. So in the eastern front of the circle, from the eastern side, so many rotations will come in. That is where IHC has to be careful. But talking about the players of high voltage, in the map of Sanhok, they showcased a very good performance. Even after that, also high voltage have not been having a very bad day today. So they do have the circle position also. In terms of the position, they are somewhere on the periphery of the circle, so they do have a good position to hold on to. But IHC Godless takes on fight with a plus of Maptex Esports, and Valley has been taken down as showcased in the elimination feed. So let's see if we can get the confirmation point as well.
Indeed, for now, Mabitex down to just a 1-man squad as Bollywood dropped down. At the same time, for high voltage, they seem to be making some noise. Not entirely sure what the idea for that is. Another 30 seconds and we're going to be moving into stage 4. We're still left with 15 teams, so there's still a huge chunk. But that is going to start depreciating real quick. For now, it's going to be Elementrix's players trying to get some knock on the players of Stalwart Esports. Though Stalwart Esports, the information from STE has been utilized by Elementrix, but sadly the distance is a little too far off. So these unnecessary sprays aren't really going to be able to bring out much for Elementrix's side. Nevertheless, they are going to keep trying. With 15 teams, this is a bit of a stalemate right now, but as we look at the players of Raw Officials, they jump out of that compound, and it seemed like Haitami from Leo Esports was patiently waiting as IHC lock-ons against the players of Stalwart Esports, as well as Stalwart Esports seems to have sandwiched the players of IHC. Maptex Esports get eliminated, the final player gone down the drain. Leo Esports jumping on to the players of Raw right now, wherein of course Mr. Smokey all by his lonesome with a 3-man army of the players of this is going to be a tough conversion, of course, but Raw Officials seems to be very eager to be able to, of course, annihilate their competition And that same annihilation can be seen on the other side of the map altogether itself in the name of IHC, as Stalwart Esports have been able to obliterate them. But as STE do so, it seems like SKYLIGHTZ Gaming as well as Elementrix are going to be jumping in with a third party against STE. So a tough luck affair for Stalwart Esports, because they are down to a final man who's remaining, who's not going to be able to give that revival to IC, and he himself probably is going to be lost to the cause.
And the way Elementrix are playing around the ridges, they do have a good position. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they do have a good compound to their name. They have the numbers as well. It's a 4v4 fight. Entry Frag with the grenade is looking for some opening onto the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, because they can't rush directly onto the compounds. They have to get at least one knock onto the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, but the multiple barrage of grenades is not enough, because the perfect projectile is still missing. On the other side, we can see in the mini-map, few of the players of Elementrix Esports are going for the flank angle, or maybe they're just backing away from this particular fight. They have already used multiple resources, multiple grenades in this particular fight. Now SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, AJ, they are trying to pick off few players from the side of Elementrix. Yes, some damage has been dished out, but not enough to take at least any of the player down from the side of Elementrix. Both these teams, now they have to prioritize the circle. They have to move inside the safety net of the circle, because 12 teams, 42 plus still remaining in the lobby, and I don't see too many resources in the hands of AJ. Just a single grenade. Yes, he does have first aids to work around with, but in the map of Miramar, you do need the grenades, you do need the molotovs when you play around the ridges. On the other side, the team that is looking so very comfortable is going to be Raw Officials, because they have managed to take the entire control of the southern side from the hands of Leo Esports. And Leo Esports, they were not anticipating that kind of a rush that might be coming from the southern direction. On the other side, Raw Officials better be careful, because TRZ is also looking to do the same thing.
For now, let's see how exactly is that southern end of the zone going to be playing out. Because DRS is also right around the corner. In the center, we've got Abrupt Slayers. Maybe this could be the game that finally Abrupt Slayers could capitalize upon. But from the north, once again, a late rotating team of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming are going to be making an entry. Wonder how down south are they going to be coming before they enter the zone? Because we can see Elementrix's players are definitely looking on to the rotating team of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, and SKYLIGHTZ Gaming themselves are taking shots against the players of NB Esports. So they themselves have jumped into a sandwich situation, for which if DEADEYES are able to help out, then there is a chance. Otherwise, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming are in for a tough fight to finish this game in the bag and get a chicken dinner.
And look at the position of DRS. They do have certain height advantage onto the plus of Sitim Esports. So Sitim better be careful. And the compounds they're having is favoring the position. But at the same time, they have to be very cautious. Out there in the open is not a position where Sitim Esports might want to be in, but Abrupt Slayers, sleepy with that mini tap shot, takes down 0 over there. And now this is a very crucial revival that Desert is going for. Abrupt Slayers, I don't see them charging towards the compound. So Sitim Esports, yes, they are safer now, but maybe Abrupt Slayers are looking to deplete the resources of the players of Sitim Esports. Leo surviving with only 2 players, that is going to be Liquid and Haidami. Yes, they do have a good compound to their name, but there could be a sandwich situation when the players of Abrupt Slayers and Raw Officials try and charge in, or maybe depending on the circle. So Leo Esports, they have to be very careful, because numbers are not in their favor.
Absolutely, the numbers going again away from them, just like it was previously as well. But right now, with 42 players surviving, we're in stage 4 ASL, as we were talking about it earlier, with all 4 players are looking in a very, very good advantageous position that could very well give them a really good game outing, or maybe even a chicken dinner for all you know, because they are very highly capable of that. But for now, the momentum is something that they have not been able to capitalize upon, because they've got 0 defeat points, whereas for Raw Officials, 3 defeat points with all 4 players. They're now trying to lock horns against the players of TRZ, but TRZ on top of this mountain, the height advantage helping them out against the players of Raw Officials. How is this going to pan out? But that's not all the fight that's taken place. From the north, we can see now the zone has moved further down south, as that is the opportunity that SKYLIGHTZ Gaming were waiting for.
So Certainly, Mafia Ninja is leading the charge, becoming the anchor and leading the team inside the circle. But on the southern front, we have the players of DRS as well, keeping all the 4 members alive and having the complete southern control for themselves. So yes, DRS are also looking so very strong in this particular one. And SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, well, they are approaching the compound of Abrupt Slayers, so that means a fight is going to happen, as Chori with an Info 16 has delivered a hefty damage and has managed to take down Mafia Ninja. No Fear also down to only 10 HP. On the other side, NB Esports Fist Boy takes down Joker. So Abrupt Slayers, they're becoming a victim of a third party, and NB Esports rush towards the compound, and Bishal is the only man standing as Sleepy. Well, he'll be burning down. Joker has been burned down, and Vishal, a 1v3 situation. What can he do in this particular situation? Yes, he does have UMP45, but Mondo with a grenade gets a confirmation onto Sleepy as well. Vishal switching to DBS, no, switching to UMP45, trying to go for the loot onto the crates of his teammates on the other side of the map. We have DEADEYES guys have been eliminated from the lobby, and the esports, yes, the smoke is there, not giving enough vision, but Vishal is the only man and a single man. What can he do? It's a 1v3 situation, way too much, and Abrupt Slayers, well, they have been eliminated at 11th spot. Now, NB Esports, they do have a good compound, but from one fight, we are moving towards another fight where the players of high voltage are trying to make a quick escape from the players of Seal Esports.
Indeed, they are very important. More high voltage. Same is the case for Seal Esports as well, but who will be the one in supreme? It is a 4v4 situation. Momentum going in Seal's favor. Got 3 defeat points already confirmed for their side. Same also can be said for high voltage because of the way the flank has been created. Praveen on the back angle, Jiggle on the front, Jiggle also creating a perfect spray opportunity onto the players, but exactly is this going to be played when it comes to the way that Seal Esports have gotten themselves spread out. This could be very well the detrimental position that can result in high voltage going down, and that's exactly what is taking place there. One by one, high voltage, the distance being so far away and so far apart has resulted their numbers not favoring them, and has resulted, of course, in a third party against the players of Elementrix, where Elementrix chiming along. The damage that was started from Seal Esports has resulted in a period being put from the side of Elementrix against the players of high voltage, where HV are left with just a 2-man squad without a single defeat point their name.
Certainly, Elementrix also doing a perfect third party, but the aggression that is coming from the side of Seal Esports, all the 4 players are still alive in the lobby, and high voltage, Malik and Assassin are not looking too good in this particular situation. Yes, the smoke is there, but the grenades that might come in from the side of Seal Esports. At the same time, Elementrix Esports with those vehicles already closing in the distance, and high voltage, this is not looking good at all for them. But right now, Elementrix, they are busy with the players of Seal Esports, and Seal Becca takes on one player from the side of Elementrix, get the confirmation. Rock with a mini, Gimli has been down, and Soulless with a DOP45 up close. 1v2 situation takes both the players of high voltage down, and now high voltage, they have been eliminated at 10th spot with 0 elimination. Now Seal Esports, the aggression is phenomenal. They're not stopping. 7 defeat points, looking for more onto the players of Elementrix, and Astra with the vehicle trying to make a quick escape, but the Info 16 spray that is coming from the side of Sanchit could be the reason for his demise, but no, Becca is the one that has been picked off, and entry frag has also been taken down. So Elementrix, well, they are not looking good at all, as Astra is the only man standing. He can try and gatekeep the players of Seal Esports, going for the rescue mission onto Orangey, but is it enough? Because Elementrix, only 2 players, and Seal, they are unstoppable with all the 4 players alive.
Indeed, soulless. He's taken away, stealing away the souls of course, the way that he's playing, because 4 defeat points, really fabulous play coming in from Six, and soulless all by his lonesome. Of course, along with his teammates helping him out, and they're still not yet done, as Rogue brings in destruction with that mini 14 tap shots against Astra, as Elementrix down to a final player remaining. That's going to be Orangey. Orangey's no way going to be able to jump up ahead to give that revival, and now with that, soulless on ahead to take on this elimination point for him and his team as well. 4 defeat points confirmed for Soulless, 9 in total for the side of this team of Seal Esports. Make that 10, as we are now left with 8 teams remaining, and the favor that was needed for Seal Esports has been utilized by them, because they are on the rise in this final game once again, taking it to the opponent's face. But is that all that's going to be provided right here for Seal Esports, or is there more they can convert? Because look at the stalemate that these teams are stuck in. Raw officials, a very big split coming in from their side, but all 4 players surviving. TRZ looking comfortable for now in the compound without a single defeat point, but a 3-man squad. Still, from one edge, they have a decent control of the zone. In the center, we can see SKYLIGHTZ Gaming 3-man squad are also scattered about with a 2-1 split coming in from their side. So it's still an open debate as to which side is the zone going to be going, and that of course will also determine which team is going to be favored based on the zone to walk and get that chicken dinner.
But look at the position of Esports blotter. They are somewhere on the northern front. Yes, they don't have the good compound, but they can take the advantage of the higher ground, the high mountains, and the aggression that is coming from their side. Their position has not been revealed, but maybe NB Esports can spot the players of Seal if they come over the ridge. So Seal needs to be a bit cautious about that situation, and looks like bullets are already being fired in their direction. As I can see, Becca has lost 10 or 20 HP of his health. So yes, Seal needs to be a bit cautious. Otherwise, if the circle favors them, this can be the game for the players of Seal Esports. And this is the moment when the circle is going to shift. All these teams, like you mentioned, are in a stalemate situation, waiting for the circle. That is when the next move is going to come in. Leo Esports, after a good run, surviving with only 2 players. And yes, the circle again is in the favor of the players of Seal Esports. Yes, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming also having a good compound, but they have the lower ground. As long as they are not coming out in the open, not giving a necessary peek to the opponents, I think SKYLIGHTZ Gaming can do really good. But if they go for the over aggression, multiple teams or multiple players will be looking in their direction, and that is when SKYLIGHTZ Gaming can falter down. So SKYLIGHTZ have to be very careful if they're looking for second chicken dinner of the day.
Indeed, they're going to have to be, because so many of these teams are now going to be pouncing on to the compound. From one side it's Raw, from the other side it's DRS, from between it's going to be Liquid, Leo Esports as well. This is chaos and ensued onto the SG, where SG deciding to stick around with the 2-1 split is definitely not the way they want to be able to play this one around. With that, look at the way Seal Esports have dominated right now, as Leo says Haitami has been dropped down from thanks to Becca, and the fights just keep on lingering. Because Leo Esports, it seems like they're not going to be able to do much. But as soon as we jump on along from that side, we've got Seal Esports out in the open being sprayed on upon from the players of NB Esports, as Akaze has been able to destructively bring down 2 players, but not long before he himself is going to be stopped in his tracks thanks to Seal Esports' player, and that will be Rogue. He puts Akaze in his place as he gets eliminated. We're left with only 6 teams remaining.
6 teams, 19 players still remaining. Seal Esports have to go for the crucial revival. Satim Esports is staying away from all that commotion. But the position of Raw officials are also so very promising, because they do have the height advantage in their favor. They can get information onto so many teams. And in a similar circle, in the first week blotter, I do remember SKYLIGHTZ Gaming having a compound to their name, and the team on the top, I believe it was Stalwart Esports. They got a winner chicken dinner in that situation. Right now, in that situation are the players of Raw officials. In that position, are the players of Raw officials. Now SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they are approaching very cautiously. No necessary peak is coming from their side. On the other side, we have the players of Seal Esports. The aggression is not stopping, but they don't have enough resources. No grenade, no molotov, just a single smoke in the hands of Rogue. They can't deploy that smoke wall to cover the distance towards the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, and that is where the players of Raw officials might capitalize. DRS again being the silent ones. They're just waiting for the final few moments when final 2 teams or 3 teams remain. But Raw officials from the height advantage takes on Becca from the side of Seal. Now the numbers of Seal Esports are down to 3 players. Raw officials 5 elimination points in their name.
Well, Raw officials, they're playing their cards, right? Most certainly have the best advantageous position right now, because they stuck around on top of that mountain, and that in turn is providing them so much of an opportunity to be able to mow down their opponents, who are, of course, beneath them, basically, literally beneath them at the same point of time right now. When it comes to the momentum, Seal Esports, they lose out on one of the players, but the momentum is still theirs for the taking. Though they do need to cross that road, they do need to get into a better position from that compound that they're in, as the zone is going to be moving away from there as well. In all of this, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they've played their cards right. They've been quiet when it was needed for them to be, and then they've been a little destructive in terms of the way that they've been able to get those 5 defeat points. It is all thanks to No Fear. But right now, It is going to be Raw officials against the players of DRS, and this is where, again, Raw officials, this is not how you enter. There should have been some smokes at least that could have been deployed right there, but sadly I guess there weren't any. Raw officials were able to, with a perfect utilization of the DBS action, bring down the players of DRS one by one. It seemed like up on top, DRS were the ones in control, but down south as the players entered the compound, the DBS came into front, and that in swinging across were able to dominate and yet not lose a single player. Raw officials, this team is a dream team right now with the way that they're playing this final game of the day. But hey, it is still anybody's game because we still have Serum Esports with their players surviving. They've got SKYLIGHTZ Gaming with 3 of their lads as well. But all in all, Raw officials, the momentum right now, this is looking absolutely ludicrous. But where is the zone dictating these fights to go now?
From one side, Raw officials are raining death and destruction. From other side, the players of Esports are also looking for aggression. In between all of this commotion, Leo Esports, they are left with only a single player that is going to be Liquid. What are the chances that he can get this particular game in his pocket? The chances are very less. The numbers advantage is in the favor of the players of Raw officials. And now SKYLIGHTZ is looking for opening onto the players of Esports. Rock better be careful of this grenade. And yes, he has survived. The perfect projector is still missing, but Nima takes his own knocks himself out through his own grenade. This could be the opening for the players of Raw officials, because look at the position of AJ. There is no chance that he can go for the exclamation onto Nima in this situation. And yes, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, well, they will be left with only one single player, if I'm not wrong, or 2 players maybe, but QB gets a confirmation onto 0 as well. Raw officials, the aggression is not stopping. Serum Esports with bye-bye at 5th spot with 5 eliminations. SKYLIGHTZ with only 5 defeat points and 2 players remaining. AJ is still looking for some opening onto the plus of Esports with soulless. Well, he's still having a little bit of the smoke cover, but Raw officials, well, he finds soulless and instantly shuts him down, and Esports also bids bye-bye, all courtesy to the play zone and to the players of Raw officials. And we are left with only 3 teams, 7 players remaining. Raw officials, their aggression is not stopping. The numbers are in their favor, but Liquid takes on no fear. Gets an instant confirmation, but Asia gets confirmation onto Liquid. Now it's a 1v4 situation. Raw officials know exactly where the last player is. And Raw officials, after a dominating performance, gets a winner-winner chicken dinner for themselves.
Indeed, they definitely do. A perfect game, perfect way to finish the day off. The comeback stories are definitely real for week 2, day number 3. It is going to be Raw officials with a good game for themselves. 22 total points, 12 eliminations, and moving on to the 15th in the overall ranking. Alright, welcome back once again right here at, of course, PMPL South Asia Spring Season 2023, where the journey continues on, and week 2, day number 3 comes to an end at the same point of time with the final game. Nobody could have anticipated this, right, Shadow? The way Raw officials played this final game, they were just hungry for that chicken dinner. The way they moved on across DRS compounds that they stole away, moved on ahead against SG's compound as well. Just phenomenal Raw official gameplay. And that just needs to keep happening for the next 2 days as well, because I would love to see them participate in that bonus game.
Well, certainly the improvement that has come in the gameplay of Raw officials is so very impressive. When the circle threw a curveball towards the western side, they managed to go for a very good rotation from the southern side. They took the control of the compound of Leo Esports, where 2 players were taking residency. After that, they managed to take down the entire squad of DRS, and after that, there was no stopping for the players of Raw officials. But at the same time, Esports, they were also having a fantastic run. If Raw officials were dominating from the southern front, Esports, they were dominating from the northern front.
Exactly. I mean, Esports, had there been no Raw officials over there, or in fact, not only Raw officials, of course, DRS was also there to kind of blame. Yeah. But again, had they not been there, Esports were looking so comfortable walking towards that chicken dinner. The way they were able to, bring that momentum into themselves, into their gameplay, was looking so perfect, pristine, just what we needed to see. But either ways, I mean, both these teams, either it be Esports or Raw Officials, both of them needed to have a good game, and that is exactly what they got. But with that, let's talk about the most valuable player. And interestingly enough, it does go to Esports' Rogue right here with 4 eliminations of his own, 1,215 damage. Wowzers. The dude was Rogue. Definitely, apart from his team, he was just playing his game. He knew he needed to annihilate his competition, and that's what he was doing in this final Miramar game.
Well, certainly, Seal Esports, there was no stopping for the players of Seal Esports. At the same time, Raw Officials, the MVP is going to be Rogue. Seal Esports, they managed to take down High Voltage, Elementrix. After that, so many teams, they were taking down so many players. They were taking down, and they tried to do some damage towards the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming as well towards the end of the game.
Indeed, but moving on to the top players, we've got the list, of course, Rogue being the MVP, followed along with his teammate Soulless. Of course, we spoke about it, how Soulless were able to dominate so many times in those fights. And then comes in Raw Official Zordy, along with his teammate, of course, Yeta Uta. And in between, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, No Fear, with 3 eliminations, 785 damage. Now again, for SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, No Fear, the best part over there was that he was holding on steady to that compound. And that in turn gave him quite a lot of damage points. But of course, the conversion was not given to him. No elimination points were awarded apart from 3.
Well, 3 elimination, but in the match summary, we have Zordy with the highest elimination, that is 6. Seal Esports, Rogue, and Soulless with the highest damage and highest assist, respectively. But the highest healing stun are from 0 of SITM Esports. SITM, well, they did had a good compound, but so many teams were pouncing onto them. The aggression that was coming from the set of Raw Officials, but it was not so easy to stop Raw Officials in their tracks. But in the match ranking, again, Raw Officials on the top with 22 points, but Seal Esports, look at them, just because of the elimination points, 12 eliminations, sitting on the second with 16 points to their name.
Absolutely. And then comes in SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, of course, who held their compound steady with 6 elimination points and 6 defeat points. That means they were looking, well, they're trying to at least look towards the chicken dinner. And following along, of course, is going to be Venom Esports with 8 total points in their name. Now, moving on to the second page, this is where things are going to get a lot more interesting, because teams like A+C Esports, once again, are not having a good day, that's for sure. Right, a team that we expected that would be able to give in some massive punches on the day number 3 of week 2. In fact, in week 2 itself, we anticipated that. Where day 2, IHC did so, but day 3, not looking good. Abrupt Slayers, once again, not the kind of performance we anticipated from them. TRZ, High Voltage, DEADEYES guys, Mabatex Esports, all of them. Something very, very horrid has gone over there, and that is what has made it go so very wrong for them. Hopefully, though, once again, we've got in week number 2, 2 days still remaining, Saturday and Sunday. So fingers crossed, all of that should change based on the position that they're in. But talking about the overall ranking itself, Shadow, well, this is where a lot of change today has taken place.
Well, Stalwart Esports still on the top, but 4MV, phenomenal comeback or performance came from their side. Comeback is not the right word, because they were in the top 5 or top 6 position, but now they're sitting on the second spot with only 2 points shy away. So maybe day number 4, 4MV can try and reclaim their throne, topple over Stalwart Esports. Anything can happen. Big changes are in the overall ranking right now.
Absolutely. Loving the fact that Seal Esports were able to find themselves on the 10th position, moved away from the second page of the leaderboard. But talking about the second page of the leaderboard itself, Venom Esports, they definitely can do better. Just 1 point shy is what puts them on the 16th position right there. Mabatex Esports have fallen down a little today, that's for sure. But for Elementrix Esports, no change over there. Bad Intentions, no change over there. TRZ, no change over there from them as well.
Certainly no change, still on the bottom. Bad Intention, everything is broken about this team. Elementrix, some signs of improvement comes in, but still the consistency not there. One good game is not enough to land you in top 12. So if this continues on the remaining 2 days, Elementrix maybe again won't be able to play the bonus match. Same goes for the players of TRZ. One good game came from their side, but in the overall ranking of week 1 and week 2 combined, 4MV are still in the top with a very good lead, 368 points. Stalwart Esports on the second spot with 322 points. But winner chicken dinner, 7 wins from the side of 4MV.
Well. 7 chicken dinners. That is ridiculous. again, this is week 2. Middle ground is where we've reached. For PMPL South Asia, we're still not done with week 2. Once week 2 is done, what are we looking at from 4MV? 10 chicken dinners? That's wow,
Maybe.
bonkers. That's just bonkers. I mean, but still though, commendable effort right now can be showcased towards a team like Stalwart Esports then, right? Because same number of matches have been played from them, only 3 chicken dinners, but they have 322 points. So yes, there is still a big leap and there is still a difference, 46 points difference to be exact, between these two teams, but that can be covered from Stalwart Esports. That is something that 4MV are going to have to be very careful of.
Well, certainly 4MV has to be very careful, and maybe week number 2 is the week where we can see 10 chicken dinners also if 4MV showcase same kind of performance in the coming 2 days. But on the bottom, we have same teams, Bad Intention, Elementrix with only 115 points, Deadeye Guys on the 18th with 119 points, then Sitim Esports on 17th with 131 points. Well, this is not looking good for them. TRZ on the 16th spot with 134 points. Yes, TRZ did showcase good performance in one of the Erangel, but that is not enough. I8 Crew, well, they're sitting on the 14th spot, but the way I8 Crew are playing in week number 2, if they continue same performance in the coming week as well, I think I8 can topple over so many other teams.
Absolutely, but along with that, let's move on ahead and talk about the elimination leaders now. We've got 4 Miracle Vibes, East and Doc, who seem to be leading the charge right now. Earlier, of course, we used to see Tops Action, Stalwart players, along with maybe Godless here and there. But now it's all changed. Spring season, South Asia, PMPL, it has all changed. For the better or the worse, of course, you be the judge. But definitely looking forward to how this is all going to play out at the end. For now, let's move on ahead and, of course, summarize the entirety of the day. We started off on Sanhok, where High Voltage were able to have a destructive game of 8 eliminations, of course, with 1700 damage, getting the chicken dinner. Moving away from there, we've got SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, who were the ones on Erangel who got the chicken dinner. But then 4MV rose up to the occasion. It was Stalwart Esports actually leading the charge in the overall ranking. But then 4MV came on along and on the Erangel and Miramar map, got that chicken dinner and just created a massive lead and jumped on to the first position in week 2's overall ranking. In the league overall ranking, 4MV were already leading the charge.
We knew 4MV they are going to deliver this kind of performance someday in this week number 2. Yes, day 1 was not in their favor. Day number 2 they tried to do a comeback or tried to show the same aggression, but yes,
right,
it was still missing. But day number 3, finally they are back in the form, back in the action, and they're trying to reclaim that throne in the week 2 standings as well. Definitely 4MV and Stalwart Esports are 2 names that we can guarantee they are going to play the bonus match. But about the teams who are not consistent, Seal Esports, Raw Officials, Elementrix, a big name, Deadeye Guys, these teams, they need so many points if they want to play the bonus match, especially the players of Elementrix Esports, because yes, one chicken dinner or one good performance is not enough. They have to be very consistent, because missing out on the bonus match, well, you're missing out on so many bonus points.
Absolutely, and of course, no team actually wants to be missing out on the opportunity of that bonus map, of course. But the competition is so fierce and tough that if you miss out on day number 1, you better be able to deliver twice fold the competition and, of course, performance on day 2. And if day 2 also does not go in your favor, then you're almost at the edge. You know, on day 3, 4, and 5, you are going to have to deliver in every single game, and that is where competition gets so very difficult for teams to be able to compete. But with that, we do reach the end of our stream for today. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow. Do not forget to click that subscribe button so that you stay updated with all the things that take place right here at PMPL SA. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.